On ESPN, Celtics and Hawks Game 3. That'll be followed by Nuggets and Timberwolves Game 3. Boston and Denver both lead 2-0. At 8:30 Eastern on ESPN Radio and ABC, Cavaliers and Knicks Game 3 with the series tied. The Raptors fire head coach Nick Nurse, who had 1 year to go on his contract. ESPN's Tim Bontemps.
I think this just sort of felt like it was time for everybody to part ways and start fresh. The Raptors have been one of the best organizations in the league for a long time. Masai and Bobby Webster, one of the best front offices. They've had a ton of success. Nick Nurse, I suspect, will be a coach somewhere else fairly soon.
Tim Bontemps. Nurse coached Toronto for 5 seasons, winning the NBA title in his first year, 2019. 5 NFL players get suspensions for violating the league's gambling policy. 3 of them, Lions wideout Quintez Cephas and safety C.J. Moore, along with Commanders defensive lineman Shaka Toney, are all suspended indefinitely and will be out at least a year.
Coming up Monday, it's the week of the draft. I'll tell you which teams that we aren't quite talking about should consider taking a quarterback. Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max, Monday morning at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, ESPNU.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website. Happy. That's happy. Enter it now.
Log on now to ESPNAVL.com.
In the heart of Beer City, USA, 2 men, 1 journey to create a sports show unlike any other. Unfiltered, raw, and honest. One of them played a soccer goalie opposite Ben Stiller. The other once scored 6 points on Steph Curry. These guys know their shit.
Let's go!
Tank Spencer, Jeremy Greene, the Sportsocracy. Presented by Ingles Supermarkets. Low prices, love the savings.
And welcome into a Friday edition of the Sportsocracy. Here on ESPN Asheville 92.9 FM, 880 AM and 1400. The Sportsocracy, always heard everywhere you go on the iHeartRadio app. And you can see us live in the Ingles Studio on YouTube. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click the live video link, subscribe to the channel, and do not bet on games if you're an NFL player.
Motor City Bad Beat. Let's go.
The Detroit Lions have had 4 players suspended because they were, they violated the league's gambling policy. The Washington Commanders also had a player suspended as well.
Shaka Toney he was barely just going rogue. Detroit, they were just having poker nights. Let's go. They got the Houston Rockets in the money line. Fire away.
I guess that's your number one story of the day, mainly because it wraps up Jameson Williams.
It also makes
frankly,
the we signed Marvin Jones thing make a little bit of sense.
I was going to say, frankly, if it's not for Jameson Williams, is this even a story? Oh, Quintez Cephas.
It would be a story. It just wouldn't be as big a story. Well, they cut Quintez Cephas. Oh, shucks. What are we going to do?
It's going to kill my fantasy team.
It's Stanley Berryhill. I will never recover from this.
Oh, we got gambling going on in the NFL. We'll give you the details on that coming up in this program. It is, 1 day closer to the NFL draft.
6 hours, 6 days, 4 hours, 57 minutes until Draftmas. Draftmas is upon us.
Indeed. Next week, Thursday, we will be live at the Village Porch. 41 North Merriman Avenue. Come on by and hang out with us for the entire night on Thursday, the entire night on Friday.
Oh, it's going to be just a hoot and a half. Every pick of the 2023 NFL Draft covered live.
And, of course, we will be streaming it on YouTube, but don't just settle for that. You can stream it while you're sitting next to us at the Village Porch.
You can join in. Day 2, your team comes up. Come on down. You're the next contestant. Oh, what do you think about that?
I frankly cannot wait.
Hop on camera, wave to the people.
This
is what my face looks like.
Until the draft is over.
Oh,
just
so good.
We're so close.
It's so good. I was on the Adam Gold show before this, and me and Josh Graham we were just going in circles. I actually sent him a message afterwards like, you and I can argue anytime. because I'm not sure that he and I wouldn't argue about what day it was. And it's fun regardless.
Indeed.
That's how sports talk works. You say something, may or may not be the smartest thing I've ever heard, and I certainly may or may not agree with it, and then we go round and round.
It is going to be a fun afternoon here. We've got the second half of the James Conner team to unveil in the 4 o'clock hour. These are all the guys that Jeremy does not like as much as the industry projections are on them right now. We'll give you the defensive team. We gave you the offensive team yesterday. You can go back and check out the podcasts or the videos from Monday and Tuesday that had the Amon-Ra St. Brown team, which were the guys that Jeremy likes way more than everybody else. We got A-plus team-by-team mock drafts going out
just
on the YouTube channel.
As quickly as my little fingers can make them go out.
We got full 7-round prognostications coming out next week, starting Sunday or Monday. One of those 2 days we'll start doing all of that.
Player profile reels. It's your one-stop shop for Draftmas and my EP of Draftmas songs, including such bangers as Grandma Got Runned Over by Mel Kiper. I mean, that's a banger. I don't care who you are. If you're not sitting around listening to Draftmas carols on Draftmas Eve, I don't know what you're doing with your life.
Thank God it's almost here. We already got a super chat in the YouTube stream.
Nope. It's here somewhere. Yep.
Soaring Eagle 175 says this gambling thing is absolutely nothing compared to the Cards' new unis.
Oh, yeah, they're awful.
Spoiler alert, they're total jack squat.
I'm your huckleberry.
There it was.
Well, I'm here to tell you that you're probably going to find out as you go out there that you're not going to amount to jack squat.
Bingo.
I have not seen these yet.
They're awful. They look like the Ohio State Cardinals. They look like they designed those in Microsoft Paint.
Yep.
They are horrific. They have these stupid sayings in the collar. Like one of them says, Bird Gang. Tell me you're an XFL team without telling me you're an XFL team. Oh, it's so bad.
Yeah.
Oh, they're so bad.
It's very college athlete.
It's very Ohio Statey.
Yeah, I mean,
it looks like you created Ohio State on Madden and went, look, I can play college football now.
You got the silver and scarlet
on
the shoulder pads of this uniform. The black ones are nice.
Are they
They're
though?
Very basic though.
Yeah. Hey, we bought a black uniform at Dick's Sporting Goods and threw a red number on it. How about that? Marketing. To be honest with you, it wouldn't be so funny to me if it wasn't the Cardinals.
True. I mean, everything the Cardinals do is
well, because the story came out about how cheap the ownership group is. Now you've got I keep wanting to call him Mark Cuban. With Daniel Snyder out of the league, Now you got the Bidwell family that apparently is the new.
Oh, they're in the crosshairs.
Daniel Snyder. This is the new one we have to get rid of, and they're just notoriously cheap. And the floor of their training facility has exposed boards, and then they come out with this just sad, pitiful little. It says Bird Gang on it. The other one says Protect the Nest. How many fighting cardinals you ever seen in your life?
Not too many.
Have you ever been walking down the road and you got a song in your heart and things are just all going hunky dunky and coming the other direction? Run! It's a cardinal. It's protecting its nest.
Well, I mean, you would do that.
What are you, a cop? I run from terrifying birds like turkeys and chickens.
Things that can't chase you.
They'll peg your eye right out. They'll do it. They'll do it in a heartbeat. Frankly, if the Arizona Cardinals had changed their name to the Arizona Fighting Chickens, I think that those uniforms would make a little bit more sense. Have Foghorn Leghorn as your new mascot.
Yep.
I see. We have here is a failure to communicate. You're a nice boy. You just don't listen.
It is. Thank God it's a Friday. And thank God we're counting down the days to the NFL draft.
Oh, I mean, I'm saying that. I think I know why you're saying that. It's because you don't have to deal with me for 2 days.
Indeed.
Because right now I got enough caffeine, I can actually hear my blood going through my body.
Which is not a good thing.
No, I mean, I feel like I'm.
He asked me a moment ago, why does he feel like he's having a heart attack? And I went, well, if you do, there's a telephone right next to you.
Well, here's the thing.
Pick that up and call somebody.
If you're having an infarction, they say only one of your arms is numb, and I can't feel my fingers on either hand. I think that's caffeine. Had to balance it off. Maybe get a loaf of bread or something in the
quite possible
in the break.
All right. So the breaking story from, well, I guess last offseason was Calvin Ridley suspended for a year from the NFL because he was betting on NFL games. Now, a year later, we have the story where there are 4 Detroit Lions that have now been busted for breaking the gambling policy.
Yeah, and 3 of them were receivers. They're sitting around the receiver room going, hey, I got the Lakers in the money line over the 229. They've been listening to Greene on Greene. That's it.
Yeah.
I hope their picks went better than mine did last night.
Indefinite suspensions for Quintez Cephas and C.J. Moore, who were immediately released by the Lions. They were like, you guys aren't worth this.
Yeah, we're not going to hold on to you for a year.
Yeah, we're not keeping you on the roster for a year. The other 2, Jameson Williams, obviously just returned from an injury, and we were so excited about the sophomore campaign, and now he's going to miss the first 6 games of next year because he was caught gambling not on NFL games, but wagering at the sports book that they put inside the facility.
He was on his phone.
Oh, he was on his phone.
Yeah, he was on his phone.
Oh, okay.
You cannot gamble on a phone in the facility on a team plane. Basically anything that's financed by the team.
So while you're on the clock.
Yeah.
If you go in the door, you're on the clock.
And let me just go ahead and say, I'm going to get out in front of this. This is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. The fact that they suspended Jameson Williams is gross. Now, the other guys, you're betting on the league. We've already been through this. Calvin Ridley taught us this. But so you did something that's legal, you just did it at the wrong time.
Mm-hmm.
That's really stupid coming from a league that is as in bed with DraftKings as they are, okay?
I would
So where's the line? All right, so can you play DraftKings while you're in the facility? Or is that considered it's just myopic and stupid. In the same week that you got the Oakland A's buying a gigantic tract of land to move the 3rd professional sports franchise into Vegas, we still have this weird connotation of, oh, guys gambling, that's bad for the league. I don't care if they gamble on the NFL. I don't care. Now, if you're gambling against your own team, this is the Pete Rose thing all over again. You're betting on your team to win. I really don't understand why there's a problem with that.
I get the whole no gambling on your own sport. If you're a member, you have too much connection. You can get too much behind the scenes access.
Okay, all right. So take that out. It's legal for you to gamble on the NBA or whatever it was he was doing.
Sure.
What does it matter? So you're in the facility. Who cares?
Yeah, I don't know what that matters.
I can't wrap my brain around it.
But that's part of the rule.
And if it's insider information, then why do they let us do it?
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't feel like I'm breaking news here. We know things that you don't. It's the way it is.
He knows things that you don't.
Yeah, Tank. The only way Tank.
Don't you try to lump me into that smart crowd.
The only way Tank is making a gamble is if he has somebody on the take.
Right.
If Tank ever says, I put a big wad on blank, we need to start an investigation immediately.
Absolutely.
Because somebody is laying down.
Right. Like I have personally talked to the person that is running the scam, whatever it is. It's the only way I would get involved with that.
I just don't understand why this matters. And now look at how much of an impact this has on the Lions.
Yeah.
Because now you're going into the first 6 games of the year with Marvin Jones. You have him on St. Brown, but then it's Marvin Jones and Josh Reynolds and Shane Zylstra.
And whatever rookie you're going to draft. Because I think wide receiver was on their list anyway.
You should tell that to their fans because I'm really tired of them telling me how stupid I am.
There
are certain fan bases.
That didn't even kind of make sense.
There are certain fan bases that I've just realized. I could give you 7 geese that lay golden eggs, and you would be mad that they weren't platinum.
With all of the picks, the draft capital that Detroit has, they would be dumb not to take a wide receiver at some point. I think
it's a weird way to say tight end to me, but
well, I mean that one too.
Now I feel but
I felt like you needed another one because you only have Marvin Jones for a year.
He's 80.
You want to have a 3 on the team behind.
Oh, they think that's Josh Reynolds.
Stop that. We've done Josh Reynolds.
Dog.
We've done the Josh Reynolds thing for what, 5 years now?
It feels like longer.
He's not gonna. No, stop that.
It feels like longer.
This might bump the need up on their draft board, but I think they were going to take one anyway. So I don't know how much impact this has on the draft.
I don't think it really has any.
Is it suck that they're going to be without Jameson Williams for 6 games? Yes.
To me, it would have made them much more likely to re-sign DJ Chark. That would have been the difference. And apparently they've known about this for a month.
Mm-hmm.
So right about the time they signed Marvin Jones, and we collectively looked at each other and went, well, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense now, does it? Well, it does now.
Mm-hmm.
Now it makes all the sense in the world because you lost 3 of them. So to me, it's much ado about nothing.
Yep.
I think this is a really stupid rule. If I were Jameson Williams, I would be trying to file some kind of appeal or at least push. Come on, guys, this is dumb. We're so in bed with the wagering of this sport and sports in general. For this to be the second year in a row that we're talking about this is incredibly stupid.
Right.
Because up until this point, we have yet to hear one story that anybody did anything nefarious. To me, this is like the last tenet of the way we treated Vegas forever.
Mm-hmm. And you're never...
it's just, oh, no, we can't talk about that. Now, every time you see a game on the bottom line, whether it's ESPN, CBS, what do you immediately see? What the line is and what the total is.
Mm-hmm. But you're never going to get away from that. This is always going to be a thing, especially for guys
I disagree.
For guys that wager on the NFL.
I disagree. Well, gambling on that may never get crossed. I think this is the last time you see this. Because the response to this has been visceral of how dumb this is. That, okay, so what you did is not actually illegal. You just can't do it inside the building. Why? Well, because. Okay, we're not 6, so that explanation is not going to suffice for me.
Right.
And now you've thrown a great wrench into the cog of the Detroit Lions, who we feel really good about going into next year. What? Because they're throwing out some 4-team teaser in NBA action? Be glad they're using your partner's app and move on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
These things irk me because this has been my entire life, the gambling side of sports. It was treated like it didn't happen. Meanwhile, it's making billions of dollars.
Mm-hmm.
It's always irked me it took this long to get into North Carolina. You think we're not doing it? Really?
In the cases of Jameson Williams and Stanley Berryhill, I will agree with you. Those are the 2 Detroit Lions that were suspended for 6 games because they made wagers inside the facility. But you're never getting away from guys being caught putting wagers on NFL games. It's going to happen.
Okay, if it's not your team, why do we care? Nobody's ever been able to aptly explain it to me.
Again, to me, it has to go back to you might have connections. You might have insider information. You may have,
then why can I go back to my original question?
Mm-hmm.
Then why can we do this?
Because you're not controlled by the league.
No, I got that. But if it's insider information, because that's the only thing anybody's ever said to me is, well, you never know. These guys talk to guys in the league. So do I.
Mm-hmm.
You think that there are things that happen that I know about before you do? Really? Okay. Yeah, you're right. Level playing field. I've always said the first time I win the millionaire or something like that, somebody's going to ask a lot of questions. How did you know that? I forgot.
Yep.
Little birdie told me.
Yep. That's what it all comes down to, is just the access of information that you have. Do regular bettors like yourself, do sharps have backdoor connections that they can get insider information? Sure. But they can't be controlled by the league.
B. Malik had, I think, the ultimate line here. 5 players having their careers and wallets drastically impacted for something so minor is ridiculous. Meanwhile, the owners are making a killing off the bets being thrown around. Found the bell. We have located the bell. It's exactly right. That's what irks me, is that you're so in bed with these. You can physically not watch any athletic endeavor at this point that you're not inundated with things from DraftKings.
Mm-hmm.
I have no problem with that. They have a great product. Great product. I can't wait till I can use it here. It's dumb. It really is dumb, and it irks me.
You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400.
Just keep your eye on the ball. At Ingles, we know that big dreams don't always make it to the big leagues. But we also know that baseball, it's family. It's about building character. And as sure as there'll be some stumbles on that journey from first to home, we'll be right there, cheering you on. This is baseball. And this is who we are. Ingles, we're with you every step of the way.
Tired of getting dinged by monthly fees on your checking account? You need Simple Checking from Home Trust Bank. With Simple Checking, you get all the essential checking services for free, including 100% online access and a free Visa debit card. It's everything you need from a checking account, but no hoops, no surprises, no monthly fees. Stop by today or call 800-627-1632. Simple Checking at Home Trust. Ready for what's next. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
Cleaning the inside of your house is easy, but the outside is where most people need a little help. WNC Wash Pros are the highest rated exterior cleaning company in North Carolina with a 100% satisfaction guarantee. Whether you need your walkways pressure washed or the outside of the house scrubbed clean, we will kill all organic growth to preserve your paint and extend the life of your roof with our gentle and soft approach. Call us at 828-560-WASH or visit our website at WNCWashPros.com for a free estimate today.
I'm Martin Hoke, the inventor of Navage Nasal Care, and I love Navage. I've told you about how your nose is the body's air filter, that Navage's powered suction will help flush out allergens, viruses, mucus, and germs, and that Navage will help you breathe better. But what do other people say about Navage? Like Ricardo, quote, "This is one of the greatest inventions ever. I know this may sound like I'm exaggerating, but this sucker is amazing. The first time I did it, I couldn't believe what came out of my sinuses. I could breathe with ease. My wife just bought one too. Thank you for this product," unquote. He's one of over 100,000 online reviews praising Navage, the all-natural solution trusted by over 3 million people to help you breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and stay healthier without drugs. Navage is available at Walmart, CVS, Walgreens, Target, Rite Aid, and online. Navage, Navage, clean nose, healthy life.
My friend and I are taking a trip to Mexico this year, but neither of us speak Spanish. So we downloaded Babbel and started learning Spanish fast.
Want to start getting conversational in another language? In as little as 3 weeks? Babbel's quick 10-minute lessons were designed by language experts to be the most efficient and effective way to learn a new language.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com.
Welcome back into the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville. Yeah, the Detroit Lions had the problem there. I mean, 4 guys got busted for, breaking the gambling policy. They also apparently had a slew of people in the front office that got axed because they broke the gambling policy as well. Pretty sure that's going to be one of the installations for this offseason for Detroit, is we're going to have somebody go over the full gambling policy so nobody gets in trouble this year. We've talked about what a great organization this has become, and then a story like this comes out and goes, well, you can't get everything right.
It's still a great organization. This is one of those things that you thought you would get by with, or you maybe didn't even know the rule. I didn't know this.
Mm-hmm.
I had somebody ask me as soon as this broke, actually it was Football Farley, Brian Haynes. He said, is it legal for them to gamble on other sports? And I immediately said, I don't know. And then Ian Rappaport clarified it on Twitter that, they can gamble. They just can't do it inside the facility.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, it's much ado about nothing. I'm not shocked when this came out. This is one of those Friday news dumps ahead of Draftmas week. and by Monday we'll have forgotten it and nobody will care.
Well, fantasy football players won't forget it for the first 6 weeks of the season with Jameson Williams being out.
Which that part's less than ideal.
It is, but it's also a good thing that he'll be back for most of the campaign, and this Detroit team's still going to be pretty good with him. Getting so close to the NFL draft, and what's the latest spiciest rumor?
Well, C.J. Stroud is falling like a rock.
Well, I mean, we knew that. We knew that was coming. The S2 cognitive test.
Yeah, the percentiles came out, and
Yikes.
Guess what? Everything I heard was completely accurate.
Yep.
Except Hendon Hooker and Anthony Richardson. They did not do as well as I thought.
Bryce Young's score was damn near perfect. He was in the
98th
98th percentile of the S2 cognitive test. And C.J. Stroud was 18%.
18th percentile.
Yeah.
Of which that would just terrify me. If I'm going in, I will tell you no team is trading up for C.J. Stroud.
No, it'll be he falls in the lap of somebody.
Well, I fully believe. Who wants you to know that? Why did this come out? The guy that runs the S2 test has apparently been so inundated with emails and requests because he can't actually disclose this information. He's been so inundated, he's taken his email off of all of the ways you can contact him. So now, unless you already knew how to get a hold of him, you can't. So it's just this is one of those things that's floated by a team. Who do I think it is? I have an idea, but I don't have any proof of that.
Okay. Do you want to make the accusation?
It's not really an accusation.
Make the accusation.
Well, look, I've said this the entire time. I feel like the Indianapolis culture positioning their fan base if we're going to take Will Levis. Because that's who they want. And every bit of this information that comes out, I can directly tie to, oh, wow, that makes Will Levis look really good.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes C.J. Stroud look really bad. Who could possibly be wanting to do that? I'm not saying they are. It's just coincidence.
Right.
I'm sure. It's just a coincidence. It's like that herd of zebras that I just heard marching in the field behind Radio Ranch.
The drop dead spot for him is 11, right?
For Stroud?
For Stroud. He's not getting past Tennessee.
I don't know. Depends on how much stock you put into this. I mean, if you're David Tepper, then yeah, I would say he's probably not even on their board.
No. They don't have a board. I mean, they have they have a board with one name on it, and that's the only one that matters.
Oh, yeah, they're going full.
He went full draft day.
Yeah, he went full Kevin Costner.
Yeah, he walked in and just erased everything off the board and went, Bryce, this is our guy.
You said the drop dead spot is 11. I'm not so sure I agree with you.
It's lower?
Could be. It very well could be. I don't hear anybody that's in love with C.J. Stroud that's not a fan. When I talk to people in the league, I have not heard a positive thing about him in probably a month. And that makes me think it's not just one team doing this.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, there always seems to be one. There always seems to be one guy every draft that the news just doesn't go his way.
Well, and
the week
and
prior.
you also have to remember that what we say, what the talking heads say, and what the fans think doesn't always line up with what the scouts say.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've said this about the receivers. You're way higher on them than we are. There is, and that's universal. I mean, we talked at one time that 6 of them could go in the first round.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you could have 2. And one of them could be at 31 to the Kansas City Chiefs. That's totally in the realm of possibility. Do I think it's going to happen? No. But there's a better than zero chance.
Right.
And so as you hear all this news, it always gets unsettling to me when I haven't heard a nice word about this kid in a long time.
I could not imagine if he falls, just knowing what the ceiling could be. I couldn't see Tennessee passing on him at 11. If they did,
Houston at 12. Houston at 12.
If Houston doesn't take,
and they go full draft day. And hey, look, we just sat right here and got a quarterback in the edge guy anyway.
Yeah, but
how
would you do that? But would you, if you were off him at 2, 12 obviously makes gives you a better value for him.
No doubt.
But
every player in this draft is draftable to somebody at some point.
Yeah, sure. But I feel like if you were scared of him at 2, you'd be scared of him at 12. You've already kind of resigned yourself to going to next year, right? You had to have that conversation. Everybody sat down and went, okay, we're not doing the C.J. Stroud thing. We're taking Will Levis.
Well, the difference of taking a guy at 2 and taking him at 12 is leaps and bounds different.
Absolutely. It factors in, no doubt. But I don't know if you could have foreseen this.
Or maybe you're just really forward-thinking.
Maybe.
And you did see it coming, and this is the reason you're doing this.
I'm just going.
Now, that's giving the Houston Texans way more credit than I want to.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm just going down the draft order here. You got Green Bay at 15. They wouldn't do that.
No.
And then Washington and Pittsburgh both have young quarterbacks. They're not doing it. Detroit at 18 could consider it.
If we get to that point, that's going to be the only thing we talk about on draft night.
And 19.
I think 19 is probably the drop dead.
Right. If he's there for Tampa Bay,
the drop dead on
no way.
all these quarterbacks for me. I firmly believe Bryce is going 1, Levis is going 4. I'm not going to lie to you. I do not have even the vaguest clue where the other two are.
Right.
But I don't see him falling past 19.
Yeah. I would still say the drop dead's at 11. If he makes it to 19, I'll be happy.
Will you, though?
Yeah.
For him to sit behind Baker Mayfield for a year.
Am I concerned about the cognitive test? Sure. Anyone would be. But I told you at the beginning of the process, I didn't think the gap physically in their play on the field was that huge between Bryce Young and C.J. Stroud. Bryce has always been one for me, but C.J. is not as far off. Now, the S2 thing, hell, I mean, that hurts that.
Well, yeah, I mean,
no
it confirms a lot of what you saw.
Because it's clear. Because it's obviously clear. There is a huge gap between these two guys.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'd still be happy with it at 19. Anything to save me from Baker Mayfield.
Nope. You're entrenched there. Get your jersey ready.
You're entrenched.
Get your jersey ready. That number 6 Tampa Bay Buccaneers Baker Mayfield jersey.
Somebody posted a picture of them in their new Baker Mayfield jersey on one of the fan groups yesterday.
God,
I just rolled and went, just burn it now.
Well, that'll make a great car rag to wax your car with.
Yeah, my comment to them was, at least you went with the replica and not the authentic. So I know you only spent $70 at most on that thing.
Chad Reagan has a really interesting question in our YouTube comments that I want to hit on, and it's, why are people so high on Levis? This is one of those things, and the discussion we got into on the Adam Gold show was about the quarterbacks. So there are 3 of us that do this for a living that are asked the same question. Which quarterback would you take behind Bryce Young?
Mm-hmm.
We all 3 gave different answers.
Yes.
And we all 3 laughed at somebody else's answer. Because to me, it would be comical to have Anthony Richardson that high, because I just haven't seen it. Why are people so high on him? Because he's got a cannon arm. I mean, that's and he had nothing around him, and you think that there's something there, and then he crushes the S2, so the cognitive is good, and so you can convince yourself of that. Now, why do I think one specific team fell in love with him? Because they're doing that thing that I absolutely hate, is I was successful with person A, person B reminds me of person A, and so we're all just going to live happily ever after. If you did that in your dating life, it ends badly. Did you remind me of my ex-girlfriend? Yeah, don't say that. That's a horrible idea. That's how you get hit in the head with a rock.
Mm-hmm.
But for whatever reason, teams do this. And from everything I've been told, the brain trust in Indianapolis sees Jalen Hurts in Will Levis. I get it. I do too. I don't even think that's his ceiling. I think he can be better than that. He has a scary floor. And if you're, like Adam Gold said, he's all in on Anthony Richardson because of the ceiling. I don't care about the floor. If he busts out, I don't care how bad he is. Bad is bad. You're either a star or you're not. And I get that. And some people see star in Levis. The problem I have with C.J. Stroud is that nobody I talk to sees star in him.
Mm-hmm.
They immediately go to it's Well, he could be Kirk Cousins. Okay, well, I'm not taking that at 4.
No.
I'm not taking that at 2. I mean, I'm not saying there's not a merit to it. It's just think about how many years in a row we've had this question of how much better would Minnesota be if they had a high-level quarterback. So now I'm going to draft that knowing – yeah, I struggle to believe that. One more thing before we go to break. Divine Comedy said the S2 leak was false or fake according to the guy who created it and runs the test. Yeah, because legally he can't give it out. I'll go ahead and tell you. I've heard this from so many people, it ain't fake. And Tank, you and I can do this live on air. How much did I miss the score that was leaked 4 days ago? The number I told you, how discrepant was it from the number that came out?
1
point.
It was 1 point difference.
And I heard it from probably a dozen people that don't necessarily talk to each other. It's kind of like the telephone game. Okay, the story can change as you go down. When you hear the same story from everybody, there's at least a little bit of fire here. Now, do I think the S2 guy's probably trying to cover his tuchus? Maybe. Because this is not supposed to happen.
Yeah, but I feel like it should.
Why?
Don't you?
So we would know?
Yeah.
They don't really care what we think.
I know they don't care what we think.
They don't care what we think.
But
we're going to watch
like
the draft. We're going to be present accounted for every second of it.
There's transparency in all of the physical stuff, right? I mean,
yeah, but this gets into like mental makeup, and this gets into like SAT scores. Are you really entitled to know what somebody got on the SAT if they don't tell you? No.
Yeah,
I mean, the scouts know. And that's the other part of that, to what Divine said. These results are made public to everybody in the league. If you think for 1 second that there are not people in the league that run to people like us and go, hey, float that. Hey, float that.
Yeah,
we need that out there. I got a bridge. And we're in a small market. What do you think they do in markets with teams? Those guys are probably getting inundated with, hey, could you possibly just float that out there and just let the masses know it?
Right.
That totally happens.
Oh, sure.
Because the worst thing that can happen is you have that Jets moment at the draft where your entire fan base wants player X. The Warren Sapp thing that's the one that always resonates in my brain because every Jet fan wanted Warren Sapp. So you get up there, you say Kyle Brady, and everybody in the building boos you. And so now this kid's sitting here holding your jersey on the stage while everybody else wearing your colors is booing him mercilessly.
Right.
You don't want that.
No.
A, it's a bad look. B, it ruins the moment for the kid. You're off to a bad start. So, yeah, you do float things out there to position the narrative.
Divine Comedy also saying in the YouTube stream, he says it's BS. Playing quarterback is reactive to other people, not a written test. This is just trendy now because Brock effing Purdy apparently had a good one, and everybody wants to crown a new superhero in San Francisco.
That's not why this test is trendy. The Wonderlic started to – it stopped doing what it was supposed to do. It stopped being an indicator because we had several guys that scored less than ideal and several guys that scored really well, and the bust were on the high side and the success stories were on the low side.
Right.
So, of course, somebody came along and am I telling you that this is the end-all, be-all? No, but there are people in the league that think it is.
It's a better test.
It's certainly a better test.
To me,
yes.
it is a better test to show you football acumen. That's the thing I always had a problem with the Wonderlic.
It had nothing to do with football.
Nothing to do with football, right. It was all about mathematics and all of that. Well, I would much rather know what my quarterback thinks of or how fast my quarterback can recognize coverages and blitzers and all that kind of stuff rather than, science facts.
This is basically an analytical way of getting guys on the dry erase board, seeing how well they can diagnose things. That's all it is.
Yeah.
But here's where this kind of swells. I had heard C.J. Stroud wasn't impressing people in those scenarios either. And then you get the bad guy. Independently, okay. Like Hendon Hooker. Hendon Hooker didn't score particularly well on this. You know how many people it's scaring? Nobody. Because they get him in the room and he's just beautiful mind. Okay, so you didn't test well. That gets thrown out the window. When it starts confirming things I've seen on tape and then confirms what you did when you were here, now I have a problem. So I shouldn't have been as dismissive of what he said there, because I understand what he's saying. It's just this goes into a complete line with where you've been with Stroud, from what I've been told. I haven't talked to him. It's just what people around the league tell me.
You are in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville. Way late for a break. We'll take it. When we come back, we'll get just a bit outside.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Temperatures are going to trend cooler into the weekend. Tonight, an increase in cloud cover with a few showers popping up after midnight. The low should drop down to 50. More rain will be possible starting off Saturday. The showers will taper off into the afternoon with a high near 63 as winds gusting from the northwest near 20 to 25 miles per hour. Dry and colder Saturday night with some breaks in the clouds and a low dropping to 38. And for Sunday and Monday, expect sunshine and highs reaching the low 60s. I'm Jeff Marr from the Weather Channel.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. Hurry and shop the final days of Springfest at Lowe's and get the best values of the season before they're gone. Save big on the Ego 15-inch string trimmer. It was $219. Now it's $199. Shop Lowe's today. Valid through 4/26. Selection varies by location while supplies last.
Your joints are talking to you, right? They're saying, hey, something's not right. You didn't listen because you thought the pain would go away in a week or two, but it's not going away.
Football legend Emmitt Smith knows you've got to listen to your body. Never ignore what it's telling you. And when it sends pain signals, don't wait. Get ahead. Stop it in its tracks with a visit to the nation's leader in joint pain relief.
That's QC Kinetics. Yeah, they are way ahead of the curve in this pain treatment business.
QC Kinetics says no to invasive surgeries and harsh drugs. They've found a better, natural way to relief, using your body's own healing properties that you were born with. And it takes place same day, right in the office during your appointment. No surgeries and no downtime.
Before that pain goes next level, get ahead of it. Go see QC Kinetics. Stop it in its tracks.
Call QC Kinetics, 828-333-9517. That's 828-333-9517. 828-333-9517.
Did you know your completely free iHeartRadio app is also your home for hit podcasts? New for you this week, check out On Purpose with Jay Shetty, discussing philosophy, life, and conversations with the biggest stars in the world. Listen today on your free iHeartRadio app.
iHeartRadio.
For more information about contests on the station, log on to ESPNAVL.com.
Since man created roads, they've been looking for ways to get off-road and vehicles to take them there. That's where Outlaw Off-Road comes in. A premier off-road center for Jeeps, trucks, and SUVs with a complete lineup of off-road and overland services, including maintenance and repair to make your vehicle all that it can be. Check out their location right here in Western North Carolina at 85 Avery Creek Road. Call them today at 828-974-8480 or visit them on the web at theoutlawoffroad.com.
Rogue Combat Club, Asheville's home for comprehensive martial arts training, has a goal for our community, one that's stronger, more fit, and unwavers in its support of one another. Rogue Combat Club's instructors have competed at the highest levels and offer classes for everyone from young children to adults in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and wrestling. Rogue Combat Club classes can help you boost your self-confidence and self-defense skills while weeding out the egos and intimidation found at other gyms. Join today at RogueCombatClub.com.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zach with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
Boy, you must be outside your mind.
The Sportsocracy.
Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed.
Welcome back into the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville. Let's go to the Diamond, where there's drama in baseball. As the New
Is
York...
there, though?
Yeah.
Is there drama?
Stop it. Max Scherzer, pitcher for the Mets, has been suspended for 10 games by Major League Baseball for having, well, a foreign substance on his hand during a game. If you have been keeping up with this over the last couple of days, then you will know that 3 times he was checked during the game. First time, they told him, your hand's too sticky. He swore to God all he's using is rosin and sweat to create a super sticky substance on his hand so he can hold on to the ball better, obviously. They said, all right, you got to get rid of it. Too sticky. go wash it. He goes and washes it. He comes back out. They checked him. It's okay. Next inning, they checked him again, and now it's hand sticky again. They're like, oh, it's the glove. The glove's sticky, so you got to use a different glove. So he goes and switches gloves. Then he comes back out again. They check him again, and apparently it's the stickiest it's ever been. Like in the history of baseball, according to the umpires that threw him out of the game. Here's my question, though.
Who cares?
Why
sorry,
is it stop? Why is it that there's only one umpire in Major League Baseball that is throwing guys out of games for this? It's only happened 3 times, and it's the same damn umpire. Phil Cousy is the guy that has thrown all of them out of the games. Major League Baseball, if you're going, just a word of advice here, maybe you need to get Phil Cousy off the field, or at least having a one-on-one session with him about what is and what is not a foreign substance.
Here's my other problem. Who cares? I've always thought this is the I shouldn't say the stupidest with baseball because, well, they try to qualify when I say that and do something dumber.
Mm-hmm.
Who cares? I mean, so he's got something to help him grip the ball better. Why is that a problem?
Because it's cheating.
He's throwing a ball 100 miles an hour at somebody else.
I can't make it spin too much because your hands are sticky.
Oh, it'd be awful. Might actually throw a pitch that's worth watching. We certainly don't want that. Tom Brady's been in the news a lot the last couple of days. And no,
he's coming out of retirement.
No, please, God, stop that. I can't. It's
going to join the Dolphins.
I've gotten like 15 messages about that, and I can't even respond to them. All right, the crypt keeper here. I saw the stake go in his heart. He's done. That's not what I'm talking about. Have you seen these new AI generated likenesses? Now, we've talked about the Chat GPT, which will basically write a full essay for you just because you tell it what to do. We use it around here, so I'm not against the software. It makes my job much easier. Well, now they have elaborated on it. And now, not only will it generate things that you say, it will generate your likeness and make it sound like you. There's a podcast called Dudesy. It's hosted by Chad Kultgen, who was a writer for Mad TV, and Will Sasso, who was on Mad TV.
Mm-hmm.
They created a stand-up routine of Tom Brady. When you watch it, you can tell it's not Tom, but man, it sounds just like him. He sent them a cease and desist letter to never use his image like that again.
As he should.
Do you realize how big of a problem this could actually become?
Mm-hmm.
People like, not that anybody would ever want to do this to us, but we have enough voice track out there. You can make the two of us say anything. Somebody just did a full Joe Rogan podcast. I closed my eyes. I couldn't tell it wasn't Joe Rogan.
Right.
So you can make this thing say we'll say bad for your career things.
Mm-hmm. It's a major problem.
That's really unsettling to me.
And in the grander scheme of things, I mean, this is a problem for not just comedians, but this is a problem for politicians.
Oh, it's terrifying.
Right.
Because in the very near future, you're not going to know when you hear the gotcha, because we live in a gotcha society. You're not going to know if a person actually said it or if it was manufactured.
Right.
And will it matter? Will people hold it against them just because it was their voice?
No, because, yes, they will. Because it's just like everything else. Nobody ever does their homework. Nobody ever looks to see if they're correct in their assumptions about things.
We live in a society where people get their politics and their news off Facebook.
Right.
Which is horrible.
So if I were to open my phone and, there's a TikTok video or something with fake president of the United States, don't care who it is, just whatever, the president talking about.
What am I doing here?
Trust me, he doesn't need to be AI'd.
Well, no.
He does
I'm
enough
not talking
himself.
about the actual president. I'm talking at any point in the future. Any president.
I got way more buttons
Start
over
war.
here.
I mean, right. Like, this thing could, start culture wars and all that kind of stuff. This is bad. but I don't know how you get a handle on it.
You don't. And Patrick Holt said in our YouTube comments, and frankly, if I knew what this meant, it would terrify me even more. We're close to Skynet becoming self-aware. What does that mean?
Terminator. Skynet was the robots that took over the world. Yeah.
Never saw it.
Yeah. Stop it.
I saw one of the later ones. I just never saw the early ones.
Wow.
Really?
It never ceases to amaze me. It never ceases to amaze me.
Okay.
Terminator 2 is probably the greatest sequel of all time.
Oh, I don't know about the Airplane 2. It was pretty solid. Okay.
You liked Hot Shots Part 2?
Part 2. I don't like movies, okay?
Okay, that's on your list now. Terminator 2 definitely has to be on your list of movies to
Look,
watch.
Brian Haynes and I were prepping for the draft the other day. Sitting around my coffee table, he throws on a movie to have something in the background. Next thing I know, we're 25 minutes invested in this. I still don't know what it's about, and I can't turn it off. It was an hour and 40 minutes of assault on my eyeballs. And as soon as the credits rolled, I looked at him and said, that's why I don't watch movies. Because that was awful.
What was it?
I don't remember. It was some like post-apocalyptic world, and it was awful. 100 minutes of my life that I will never get back.
You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville. You need bangers for tonight in the NBA. Jeremy's got them coming up next.
Real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zach with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
The siren song of the sea beckons with a bounteous treasure and a desire that must be fulfilled.
Here's your seafood order, Mr. Willem.
Well, did you get me wild sashimi tuna?
Yes, sir.
And the Charleston crab cake, bourbon salmon, and wild mahi-mahi with mango salsa?
It's all in the bag.
At Ingles, our extensive seafood department offers a huge variety from your local catch to flavors from around the world. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Yeah!
Every Friday.
Running a small business is no small task. At Home Trust Bank, we work hard to prepare businesses for whatever tomorrow may bring. Your dreams are our business, and we have local experts who can help you plan for a successful future. Dependable guidance you need, and service you'll appreciate. At Home Trust Bank, we take your small business banking personally. Visit your local Home Trust branch or anytime at htb.com. Member FDIC.
Finding great people to hire is like trying to find a needle in a haystack. It's pretty difficult, right? Well, ZipRecruiter has mastered finding a needle in a haystack, so they take it to the next level. They make hiring so simple that it's like finding a needle in a needle stack. And that's why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. Here's what it's like to use ZipRecruiter. They have so many qualified candidates that it's easier to find the right ones for your roles. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's a lot of needles. So how do they do it? ZipRecruiter's powerful technology sends you candidates who are a great match for your job, and you can even invite your top choices to apply. So if you want less hay and more needles, head to ZipRecruiter.
And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. At ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/FREE. ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
My milkshake brings all the boys to the yard, and they're like, it's better than yours.
Spilled your milkshake? Quick, the quicker picker-upper. Bounty picks up spills quicker. And each sheet is 2 times more absorbent, so you can use less than the leading Ordinary brand. So you can get back to your milkshake.
My milkshake brings all the boys to the yard, and they're like, it's better than yours.
Bounty, the quicker picker-upper.
What's up? I'm Tyrese Maxey, 21st overall pick in the 2020 NBA Draft, a guard for the Philadelphia 76ers, and I'm doing my very first podcast, Maxey on the Mic.
Tyrese! Oh, my
We'll talk about games, catch up with some of my favorite NBA players, talk travel, food, music, who knows what else. Listen to Maxie on the Mic on the iHeart Radio app or wherever you go to get your podcast.
Coffee's for closers only. Get them the money. Then when you get the money, you get the power. That watch costs more than your car. Then when you get the power, then you get the woman.
Well, sometimes you just get really unlucky, like Kawhi Leonard determining he can't play 14 seconds after I tell you to take the Los Angeles Clippers. 1-3-1 last night. Try to get back on the right track to end the week with 3 games in the NBA tonight. This is Greene on Greene, brought to you by Ingles Markets. Low prices, love the savings. The Boston Celtics are a 5.5-point favorite tonight on the road at the Atlanta Hawks. Over-under is 229. This series is very obvious. Atlanta has no solution for Jaylen Brown. They have no solution for Jason Tatum. And I don't care if they play this in Boston, Atlanta, the moon, on a train. I don't care where this game is. This is a gross mismatch in the NBA playoffs. 5.5, I don't feel great laying that because they are on the road and this game could be closer. But it's been such an absolute boat race in the first 2 games. I'm taking Boston. I'll lay the 5.5, and I'm going to say it's under 229. It'll be close, but I don't think Atlanta can score on Boston to that level, and Vegas has not adjusted yet. Next, the New York Knicks are a 1.5-point favorite at home against the Cleveland Cavaliers, over under 211. Madison Square Garden is going to be on fire tonight. They've waited for years for a team that they can be proud of, and this is what a home court advantage means in the NBA. I think these 2 teams are really close. Anyway, Cleveland bounced back in Game 2. We saw more of the rebounding, more of how we thought this series would go. Now, the Knicks, you're going to get the home crowd pop tonight. I think that's enough to carry them past the 1.5. I think they win this between 6 and 8 points. It's a comfortable win, but it's close in the end. In terms of the over-under, this is going to be a slugfest. I don't know that they hit 200 points, let alone get into the 2 teens. So give me the New York Knicks minus 1.5 under the 211. And finally, my 2023 NBA champion Denver Nuggets are a 2-point favorite tonight at Minnesota, over under 222. I fully believe this will be a track meet. Denver is nowhere near as good on the road as they are at home. Now, can Minnesota take advantage and get a win? It's entirely possible. I think it's more likely that happens in Game 4 and you have the gentleman's sweep back in Denver for Game 5. I'm taking Denver minus the 2. They're just so much better. Minnesota looks out of sorts. They don't know who to put in the post. They don't know who to play out. It's just a mess. And after seeing Jamal Murray torch them in Game 2, I won't be shocked if he does it in Game 3. So give me the Nuggets minus the 2 over the 222. For more, follow us on all the social medias at The Sportsocracy. And as always, Greene on Greene is brought to you by Ingles Markets. Love the savings with Ingles. Love the winnings with me. Mull it out.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Temperatures are going to trend cooler into the weekend. Tonight, an increase in cloud cover with a few showers popping up after midnight. The low should drop down to 50. More rain will be possible starting off Saturday. The showers will taper off into the afternoon with a high near 63 as winds gust in from the northwest near 20 to 25 miles per hour. Dry and colder Saturday night with some breaks in the clouds and a low dropping to 38. And for Sunday and Monday, expect sunshine and highs reaching the low 60s. I'm Jeff Marr from the Weather Channel.
This report is sponsored by Staples Stores. Staples has everything you need to travel, from passport photos to luggage. And now get 20% off your in-store purchase when you buy any travel service. Plus, travel-size Purell hand sanitizer is just 49 cents. In-store only. Offer ends 4/22. Exclusions apply. Get all set to jet at Staples.
The Biltmore Kiwanis Classic races are back. Sunday, May 21st. It's a 15K and a 5K at the beautiful Biltmore Estate. Participants will enjoy a beautiful run on the grounds of the estate, plus a race t-shirt, finisher medal, entry to the estate for the morning, commemorative race bib, and a whole lot of fun. All proceeds of the race benefit the Kiwanis Club of Asheville. For more information and to get signed up, go to BiltmoreKiwanisClassic.com. BiltmoreKiwanisClassic.com. Proudly sponsored by iHeartMedia Asheville.
You'd do anything to keep your vehicle happy. Let's make sure it stays running smoothly. With eBay Guaranteed Fit, the right parts are just a click away. When you see the green check, you know that part will fit. Get the right parts at the right prices. ebaymotors.com. Let's ride. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
The Sportsocracy.
It's horrible.
No, you know what that is? That's horror awful. That's horrible and awful mixed together. Horror awful.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. Another night of Game 3s in the NBA playoffs. A doubleheader on ESPN starting at 7 Eastern. Celtics and Hawks, followed by Nuggets and Timberwolves. At 8:30 Eastern here on ESPN Radio and ABC, Cavaliers and Knicks. The projected number 1 pick in the NBA draft, 7'5" Victor Wembanyama from France, officially declares for the draft on ESPN's NBA Today.
I realized pretty young I wanted to play in the NBA, but it becomes a reality more and more every day, and it's I just feel so lucky to have those dreams at the reach of my hand, and it's just I'm gonna take every opportunity I can.
Victor Wembanyama. The NFL suspends 5 players for violating the league's gambling policy. 4 of the 5 play for the Lions. Quintez Cephas and safety C.J. Moore, along with Shaka Toney of the Commanders, will all sit out at least a year. Detroit wideouts Jameson Williams and Stanley Berryhill get 6 games each.
Coming up Monday, it's the week of the draft. I'll tell you which teams that we aren't quite talking about should consider taking a quarterback. Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max, Monday morning at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, ESPNU.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website, Bills. That's Bills. Enter it now.
Log on now to ESPNAVL.com.
He's a degenerate gambler.
You are a smelly pirate hooker.
And he's cheaper than oxygen.
He's useless.
But somehow, they make it work. Jeremy Greene, Tank Spencer. There's no holding back in the Sportsocracy, presented by Ingles Supermarkets.
Welcome into the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. And the Sportsocracy heard everywhere you go on the iHeart Radio app. Take us with you everywhere around the world. Doesn't matter where you are. You can also see us everywhere on YouTube. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click the live video link. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you can join us in the chat. The chat really loves the topic of sequels, movie sequels.
So we're audibling the daily draft. Usually on Friday we would be drafting what's going to get our eyeballs this weekend. And I'm not going to lie, I had a reservation about that because I don't think I can just say the NFL draft 5 times.
Yeah.
Because that's what's going to get mine.
Number 1 pick for the weekend for me, the back of my eyelids.
Yeah, that would be nice. I don't see that in my future.
Right.
So we're going to audible that into best movie sequels of all time.
I like it.
Now, you have a drastic advantage over me.
Yes.
Because you have seen way more of these than I have.
Mm-hmm.
Indiana Jones, never seen it. Top Gun, just saw it for the first time, a month ago? I think it was about a month ago.
The original?
The original and the sequel.
Oh, okay.
There's going to be a very Batman connotation to mine because there's 3 completely different universes, and all 3 of them would have a movie on my list.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Better hope the draft falls your way.
And it totally will. Everything can be settled with a draft.
All right, so that'll be the daily draft today. Best movie sequels of all time. And now it's time to unveil the defensive side of the James Conner team. We are, but just 6 days away from the 2023 NFL Draft, which, by the way, we will be covering live here in the Sportsocracy. You can watch it on YouTube, but better than ever before, you can join us live as we broadcast because we are going to be at the Village Porch, 41 North Merriman Avenue. 51 North Merriman Avenue, and you are invited to join along.
Yeah, if you go to 41 North Merriman Avenue, you will be at a flower shop.
You'll find it.
Just go where you hear the big leprechaun screaming at the top of his lungs.
Exactly. It's not going to be hard to figure out where you need to be.
You'll have me and Farley right beside each other in Tank trying to not hurl. Draftmas.
Yep, we'll be there Thursday. We'll be there Friday as well for the second and the third rounds. So it's time to unveil the James Conner team. This is the team that of prospects that Jeremy doesn't like as well as the rest of the industry does, or at least they're being projected to go way too high in the draft at the moment. We gave you the offense yesterday. Now it's time to hit the defense.
The start of this team is a player that should surprise absolutely no one, because I think I've said this no less than 40 times.
Okay.
It's Myles Murphy. I want you to tell me what it is about him that's going to make him a top 20 pick without using the word athleticism.
Don't have it.
Okay, you can't.
Don't have it.
No, because you were on a stacked defense. And yeah, you had good tape. It was inconsistent, and I just don't see it. To me, the technique is not there at all. I think he would have been washed out in the SEC. And I think he benefited from a bad ACC in large quantities. And the fact that you had so many players on your defense.
Mm-hmm.
If he – I'll use the Will Levis rule. If he had gone to Kentucky, do you think he would have thrown up any kind of the statistical numbers that he did?
Maybe not.
Because I don't. And now, the further down this rabbit hole we've gone, I'm starting to think Seattle is his drop dead at 20. And no, sir. I'd take Will McDonald over him. Lucas Van Ness is light years ahead of him to me.
Mm-hmm.
Nolan Smith. I like B.J. Ojulari better. To me, he's a second round guy, just on the athletic profile. But there's really nothing on tape that screams to me this kid should be a first-round pick. But he's going to be. He's going to be.
Yep. For some guys, it's just the name is bigger. He got a lot of press at Clemson, and the athleticism is going to be a draw to anybody.
Well,
to
and
go,
he just never
teach
progressed.
Him how to play. I can teach him how to play the position.
Well, and I guess that's my question is, how many of these Clemson guys have to come into the league and just completely fall on their face before you go, maybe it was Brent Venables. Hey, maybe that was the reason this defense was so good. I mean, and I'm not trying to bang on Clemson. It's just how many of them have to come to this league and completely wash out. Mm-hmm. And I can go back 20 years doing this. There haven't been a whole lot of success stories, and most of them have been who?
There've been a few.
Who?
What, successful Clemson players coming into the league?
Who was the successful
A.J.
pass
Terrell
rusher?
would probably be the number
pass
one.
Rusher.
Oh, the pass rusher. Okay,
there it is. And there's been a bunch of them. So. It's just to me, he's another in a line of you were on a really talented defense, it propped you up, and now we're here.
All right, how about the other edge spot?
I'll bet you $5 you could tell me who this is.
Oh. No,
Isaiah Foskey.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that guy that I just continuously bang on. If you're bringing him in to be Will McDonald, okay, because I think he can do that. I don't think he can do anything else.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a really good point of reference to me because this is all, what are you going to ask him to do? If Isaiah Foskey goes to the Rams, I'm fine because I know exactly what he's going to be. He will play that Leonard Floyd role of you come in, you rush the passer, and you go hold your helmet on the sideline until we require you again. My fear is that somebody's going to take him, much like Myles Murphy, think, he can just bulk him up a little bit, and then he's going to be a real 3-down edge, and you're going to the drill where they have the tackling sled?
Yeah.
That'd be him on first and second down his entire NFL career. And I don't care if you feed him nothing but cookout cheeseburgers for the next 4 years. That's not going to change.
He'll just get blown off balance every time.
No doubt. I don't see it. I feel like the industry's kind of they've gotten a pretty good hold on this. So I couldn't have the list and not have him on it.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, it's just abundantly obvious.
All right, how about the interior of the defensive line?
Now, this is a guy that I'm going to have to preface what I'm getting ready to say. This is not that I don't like the guy.
Okay.
It's that I have great reservations, and I don't like him as much as the industry does. It's Kalijah Kancey.
Okay.
I loved him at the start when we were talking about him in the second or third round. Then he comes out, has that ridiculous workout, and then we start throwing around Aaron Donald.
Mm-hmm.
And now this is what when I talk about teams trying to soften the blow of their fan base, this is who I'm talking about. This is the kind of guy I'm talking about. Because you almost cannot hear his name referenced in big media without hearing Aaron Donald's name thrown around.
Right.
So what does that tell you? He's going to come into the league with these lofty, ridiculous expectations. At the end of the day, he's a pass-rushing interior lineman. I think he can play 3-4 defensive end. I think he can play the middle of a 4-3. And you put him next to somebody like Quinnen Williams, yeah, he's going to get home. He's also going to play about 35 snaps a game. And you're thinking this is going to be Aaron Donald coming in here. That has every recipe for, I can't believe we wasted a top 25 pick on a guy that can't do anything against the run.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, where he was, I thought he was a great value. He'd probably been on the Amon St. Brown team. Till he runs a 4.6 740 at 280 pounds. Anybody loses their minds.
Mm-hmm. He'll go way higher in the draft than we originally expected. And how high could he go in the first?
I could see him going in the top 15. I think that's tempered. That was probably more of a risk, I don't know, a month ago than it is now.
Mm-hmm.
I love him going to New Orleans at the end of the first round because I'm looking at the way that entire line lays out. Okay, you've got dogs around you. You've got a high-end linebacker back behind you, and you got a really good secondary. So, or at least I think you will have a good secondary because I love your safeties, and you have one corner that I really believe in. And I like Alontae Taylor, too. And I know Saints fans get really ruffled when I don't mention him. That's a fit. What scares me is, okay, you go in somewhere. I'm trying to think of a fit that I've seen with him that doesn't really do it for me. Detroit. I'm not as wild about that because I don't think he's going to do what you're going to ask him to do. And that's what this team's all about.
Okay. Who else is overhyped?
Brian Breeze. I don't get it.
None of it?
I don't get any of it. I really don't. Have you ever really watched him and come away from it going, that's first-round pick? That's the best player we're going to add to our defense in the draft.
I'm going to say yes.
Really?
I mean, I can't recall
how many
off the
snaps,
top of my
how
head
many
what
snaps?
his greatest game was.
How many snaps did he play in college total?
Well, he missed, a year and a half because of
he played
injuries?
25 games.
Mm-hmm.
So he played basically 2 full years. It's 884. And I never really saw the growth. Now, is he a risk that he proves me wrong because he was sick this year, he was hurt? Yeah, I guess you could burn me because there could be something there. I just don't see it. There's another him and Miles Murphy. I put them right beside each other. I think you're the same prospect of we're evaluating something, and it's a Sasquatch. I've never seen it. I'm just assuming it's there, or I saw some grainy footage of it, and it, for all I know, it could be a bear. It could be Brian Haynes. I don't know, but I've never seen it on tape. And so for me, I have Keanu Benton ahead of him.
Mm-hmm.
I have Kalijah Cansey ahead of him, who I just said. And there's a few others. I think he's right there with Carl Brooks, who's going in the third round.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just looking at how bad this class is at that position, and it screams to me you're going to go way higher than you should.
Still, to some, he's getting back into the first-round buzz. And
I struggle to see a way that he's not going to go in the back end of the first. I just can't figure out to who.
And that is actually a fall from where he was expected way early in the process.
He was a top 10 pick early in the process because we thought he was going to take the lead.
Yeah, but he never did.
And this is the bust rate of, and I don't have a term for this, but the guy that we go into the season thinking is going to take that leap and we project. It's almost like top 25 polls.
Mm-hmm.
If you're in the top 10 in that first poll, you have to do a lot to fall out of it.
North Carolina, excuse me.
At Sports Think ESPN. And for you to fall all the way out, you have to really, you have to be Eli Ricks bad or Kayshon Boutte bad. And I'm not sure that Brian Breeze has done anything to justify him being there other than a projection that we never saw.
Mm-hmm.
And so now you're going to take him because he is a young guy, but you're going to take him on a whole mess of we think. We think is what ultimately leads to you sitting with the fans that have crucified you for the stupid pick you made.
Absolutely. This ain't the NBA.
Yeah,
you can't just draft for projection and then go, maybe it works.
Here's the NBA draft. Do we have one? No. So you can't get Victor Wembanyama? Cool. Here's a dart. Throw it at that board, and you just hope that this guy can play dead in the Western.
You are in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. We will continue with the James Conner team coming up next. Again, these are the guys that at ESPN draft nerd Jeremy Greene does not like as much as the rest of the industry.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Driving slow 240 eastbound between Amboy Road and exit 4A. 240 westbound slow between Shuns Cove Road and Montford Avenue. Future 26 eastbound slow between Broadway Street and 240. 26 westbound crawling between Hendersonville Road and Long Shoals Road. 26 westbound then slow between Long Shoals Road and Bavard Road. 26 eastbound between I-40 and mile marker 35, a disabled vehicle, right shoulder blocked. Haywood County, 40 westbound crawling between NC 209 and US 276. 40 eastbound slow between Vines Creek Road and US 276. Sardis Road northbound delays between Brevard Road and Sand Hill Road. Between Bent Creek and Avery Creek, Brevard Road north and southbound stop and go between Long Shoals Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. Hendersonville Road southbound slow between Biltmore Forest and Overlook Road. Hendersonville Road northbound slow between Long Shoals Road and Mills Gap Road. Sweeten Creek Road north and southbound approaching Mills Gap Road slow. I'm Lynn Benfield with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Blindster.com.
Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster.com. Want to save big on custom faux wood blinds, shutters, cellular shades, and more? Shop Blindster today and save up to 50% over comparable blinds from brick-and-mortar stores. Get custom blinds at low prices and free shipping at Blindster.com.
Cleaning the inside of your house is easy, but the outside is where most people need a little help. WNC Wash Pros are the highest-rated exterior cleaning company in North Carolina with a 100% satisfaction guarantee. Whether you need your walkways pressure washed or the outside of the house scrubbed clean, we will kill all organic growth to preserve your paint and extend the life of your roof with our gentle and soft approach. Call us at 828-560-WASH or visit our website at WNCWashPros.com for a free estimate today.
It's time to get a hop on your spring cleaning checklist with the help of Zero Res Carpet and Air Duct Cleaning. Right now, mention ESPN Asheville and you'll get 3 rooms of carpet cleaned for only $129. Book online at ZeroResAsheville.com.
What's up? I'm Tyrese Maxey, 21st overall pick in the 2020 NBA Draft, a guard for the Philadelphia 76ers, and I'm doing my very first podcast, Maxey on the Mic.
Tyrese!
We'll talk about games, catch up with some of my favorite NBA players, talk travel, food, music, who knows what else. Listen to Maxey on the Mic on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you go to get your podcast.
My milkshake brings all the boys to the yard, and they're like, it's better than yours.
Spilled your milkshake? Quick, the quicker picker upper. Bounty picks up spills quicker. And each sheet is 2 times more absorbent, so you can use less than the leading ordinary brand. So you can get back to your milkshake.
My milkshake brings all the boys to the yard, and they're like, it's better than yours.
Bounty, the quicker picker upper.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people.
I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zach with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina.
Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
Just keep your eye on the ball. At Ingles, we know that big dreams don't always make it to the big leagues. But we also know that baseball, it's family. It's about building character. And as sure as there'll be some stumbles on that journey from first to home, we'll be right there, cheering you on. This is baseball, and this is who we are. Ingles, we're with you every step of the way.
The Sportsocracy.
That is some good, clean family fun there, eh, Cott?
It is the Sportsocracy, and we are back inside the Ingles Studio, going through the James Conner team, named after a guy that, well, a lot of fantasy football players apparently really like James Conner. Jeremy doesn't like him as much as the rest of them, and that's what this list is all about.
And we do a fantasy show during the football season, and if I heard James Conner's name one more time, I was going to rip my ears off. Because he just is what he is, and it ain't what you think he is.
Yep.
He's not bad. I'm not telling you he's Kajana Carter. I'm just, okay.
So in that
Too much love.
In that same vein, these are the 2023 NFL draft prospects that Jeremy does not like where they're currently projected to go. So they're a little overhyped. This is basically the overhyped list. Now, linebackers.
I love this linebacker class, so this was a little bit difficult.
And you've got number one on the James Conner team, the guy that is now the odds-on favorite to be the first linebacker taken in the draft.
And that's my problem.
Drew Sanders.
Because he is my 4. And he's not really all that close to the other 3. He's a really good pass rusher. And if you told me that a team was taking him to rush on the outside, because he's very solidly built. He's really tall. I think he could add a little good weight to the frame and be a 3-4 outside linebacker. The problem is that every time we put out a mock draft, somebody screams at me for not giving them Drew Sanders to play off-ball linebacker. Well, because he runs like he has a 2x4 in his tuchus. And that really is a struggle for somebody who's going to have to play in space.
Mm-hmm.
It's also a very specific kind of team that fits in with. So I'll give you an example. We've said the Washington Commanders need a linebacker before this draft is over.
Yep.
If you put him next to Jamin Davis, it would be one of the most comical farces in the history of the NFL. Because neither one of you really do what linebackers do at all. So one of you can rush the passer, and one of you just runs around all willy-nilly. I almost hope it happens, just because it'd be fun to watch. He's not what you think he is. He can be great if you use him correctly. And I may be getting swayed by fans here, not so much scouts, because a lot of scouts I talk to they say the same thing. If we take him, he's going to be a 3-4 blitzing outside linebacker, or he's going to fit a very specific niche role as an off ball. And he's going to get sent a lot because he holds up in coverage fine. It's just he has one real skill that's gotten him here, and I don't know how he got this high. Like, if you watch him and Trenton Simpson beside each other, I can't figure out how you like one better than the other. I just can't wrap my head around that, and I can't do it with Deion Henley either, or Jack Campbell for that matter. So, the fact he's the odds-on favorite to be the first linebacker, that's why he's here. He could be a great pro. He'd also be a horrible bust depending on how you use him.
All right, the other linebacker on the James Conner team, the guy from, he's started at Tennessee, transferred over to Alabama, Henry To'o.
I just don't know what he does well. All right, so you're a first 2-down linebacker. Where exactly am I supposed to take that?
No, third round.
If you go into this draft where linebacker is one of your top 3 needs and you take To'o, have you filled the need?
Not completely.
Nope. Then he's not a first 2-day pick. That's just the way it is. If you need a linebacker, you take one and you still need a linebacker, cool. You took a day 3 project and he ain't getting any better. So I think it's more name. Him and Noah Sewell, and I'm not going to lie, battle over which one of the 2 of them I was going to put on this team because there's only 2 linebackers. I just don't get it. I feel like he's one of those 4th, 5th round picks that, he's going to make the roster. He's going to be on the roster for a long time, and he's going to be a really poor man's version of Frankie Louvu, who was undrafted, by the way. I just feel like there's a lot of guys that can do this that don't have the name or the expectation.
Fair enough. How about your safeties for this class? You've said that the safeties in 2023, this is the worst class ever.
It is the I'm trying to think of a comparison here. Of whatever the worst movie I've ever seen, since we're drafting movies at the top of the hour. The worst movie. It's the Jason X of positions in this class.
It's
Without
terrible.
a doubt, that's the worst movie ever made.
Got a 7 on the tomato meter.
Oh, it got a negative 47. Here's the plot for you in one line. Jason is taken to space to be shot out into the ether, and then he wakes up and melts with the and turns into metal Jason.
Does the safety class have a higher score than C.J. Stroud's S2 exam?
No.
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 Okay,
and
so
that's
it's
only
that
because
bad.
and that's only because Brian Branch and Antonio Johnson and Jamie Robinson, Brandon Joseph are pulling it up. There's a whole mess of less than ideal.
Old Jamie Robinson. All right, let's get into the safeties here. Your first one is Jair Brown.
If you're looking for a box safety, so remember Jaquan Brisker from last year. If that's what you're after, awesome. If I have one more person tell me he can play free safety in this league, I'm going to scream because no, he can't. He's little, which bothers me.
Mm-hmm.
Then he ran a 4.65, and somehow that hasn't hurt him at all to certain people. But, okay, so you're horribly limited athletically, but because you hit people real hard, that's enough for me to take you in the second round.
No. Second round?
There are people that think that's where he falls in.
Wow.
And he has done a lot of top 30 visits.
Interesting.
He's probably, if I had to bet the first player that I laugh audibly when they're selected, it would be him.
But is he not one of those players that plays faster than he runs or what?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, all right.
That doesn't mean you can play free safety, though. You are a box guy, and there are a bunch of those in this class. I guess, okay, so here's really my problem with Jair Brown. I watch him next to Brandon Joseph, who everybody hates. He's better, and it's not even kind of close.
Brandon Joseph's better.
Not even close. And to me, it's not even really debatable. One of them you're going to be able to get in the fifth round. One of them is going in day two. This math don't math.
Mm-hmm.
And again, this is not that, he has no role in the league. I don't like him at all. I just don't think he is not what you are being sold that he is.
And is not worth the second day pick.
Good Lord, no. If you take him over Brandon Joseph, I think you should be tested for recreational drug use. Because you've lost me.
Other safety on this team, Jartavius Quan Martin.
Now, I need to be really clear here. This is how he's being projected. Another guy that's creeping into the second day.
Mm-hmm.
And both of these guys, I think, have the same problem. You're looking at the safety class just going, my God, there is no ceiling here whatsoever. Every one of these guys is currently exactly what they're going to be. And they're projecting him. I just think they're projecting him wrong. He can play that Chauncey Gardner-Johnson role. I don't want him playing deep safety ever.
Mm-hmm.
Ever. I don't ever want to see that because he's not very good in zone. He's really little. And you're taking away what got him here. He can play that, whatever you want to call it, Joker, Honey Badger role.
The corner safety.
Yeah, I don't
hybrid.
think he can do anything else. Now, if you play him there, he's really good because coming off the corner, he will be Chauncey Gardner-Johnson level impactful.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm afraid that's not going to be how he is drafted. We see this a lot with receivers. Teams start thinking, he doesn't have to play in the slot. We saw him run 200 snaps on the outside, and he proved he could do it. Uh-huh. Who were those games against? And what did the corner on the other side look like? Because there's information after the comma that you're not putting out there. And then it's guys like Charles Rogers, where he gets in the league, he can't separate from anybody. Doesn't matter what corner you put on him. If you got to the NFL, he could stay with Charles Rogers. And he just wasn't good enough at the point of catch. I'm looking at Quan Martin going, I can understand using a second-round pick on him if you think he's a nickel corner and then plays the role we were just discussing. If You think he's a deep safety, and now, he's just going to cover half the field, and it's all going to be hunky-dunky. Okay. You're going to see a lot of quarterbacks that – let's find that number. He's right there. And your ball. Here we go. And I feel that way about a good number of safeties in this class. You can do one thing, but you're going to be – it's really typecast. So there's not a lot of split-level cover half the field safeties in this class, and I feel like the fact that it's so bereft of that they're trying to force him into being that.
Now we still got 3 corners to go on the James Conner team at ESPN draft nerd Jeremy Greene. You got a problem with any of the guys that he doesn't like as much as the rest of the industry? You can hit him up on Twitter. He'll be glad to have the fight with you into the wee hours of the morning because, that's what he does.
Sleep is an after Draftmas man's game because I won't see much of it between now and next Saturday night.
We'll give you the corners on the James Conner team coming up next here in the Sportsocracy, as well as we'll get weird.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Temperatures are going to trend cooler into the weekend. Tonight, an increase in cloud cover with a few showers popping up after midnight. The low should drop down to 50. More rain will be possible starting off Saturday. The showers will taper off into the afternoon with a high near 63 as winds gust in from the northwest near 20 to 25 miles per hour. Dry and colder Saturday night with some breaks in the clouds at a low dropping to 38. And for Sunday and Monday, expect sunshine and highs reaching the low 60s. I'm Jeff Marr from the Weather Channel.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Driving slow 240 westbound between Charlotte Street and Montford Avenue. 240 eastbound slow between Amboy Road and exit 4A. Future 26 eastbound slow between Riverside Drive and 240. 26 on the westbound side stop and go approaching Hendersonville Road, continuing to Airport Road. 26 on the eastbound side stop and go between I-40 to approaching Airport Road. 40 on the eastbound side is slow between Vines Creek Road and US 276. 40 westbound is stop and go near US 276. Near Avery Creek, Boulevard Road north and southbound approaching Long Shoals Road is slow. Hendersonville Road southbound slow between Biltmore Forest and Overlook Road. Hendersonville Road northbound is slow approaching Fanning Bridge Road. Sweeten Creek Road southbound stop and go approaching the Blue Ridge Parkway to Mills Gap Road. I'm Lyndon Field with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Blindster.com.
Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster.com. Since 2010, Blindster has sold millions of custom blinds, shades, and shutters to satisfied customers across the country with 20,000 5-star reviews and an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. Custom blinds at low prices and free shipping. Blindster.com.
I'm Martin Hoke, the inventor of Navage Nasal Care, and I love Navage. I've told you about how your nose is the body's air filter, that Navage's powered suction will help flush out allergens, viruses, mucus, and germs, and that Navage will help you breathe better. But what do other people say about Navage? Like Haley, quote, "Navage is the best thing I bought. I love it. My nose feels so clear now and I can breathe. I've been struggling with a stuffy nose for weeks. I bought Navage and it's amazing." Or this one, "I use Navage every night, could not imagine life without it. I have 5 cats, and before I found Navage, I was a clogged mess. Now I breathe so much better." Unquote. Those are 2 of over 100,000 online reviews praising Navage, the all-natural solution trusted by over 3 million people to help you breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and stay healthier without drugs. Navage is available at Walmart, CVS, Walgreens, Target, Rite Aid, and online. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E, clean nose, healthy life.
Spring in the South means the return of Atlanta Braves baseball.
There's a liner out towards center field. It will lay down. Here comes Ronald. Braves win it.
The 2023 Braves load up for another huge season.
The Braves play here on ESPN Asheville.
Rogue Combat Club, Asheville's home for comprehensive martial arts training, has a goal for our community, one that's stronger, more fit, and unwavers in its support of one another. Rogue Combat Club's instructors have competed at the highest levels and offer classes for everyone from young children to adults in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and wrestling. Rogue Combat Club classes can help you boost your self-confidence and self-defense skills while weeding out the egos and intimidation found at other gyms. Join today at RogueCombatClub.com.
Our communities are filled with wonderful people who make living here great. At Home Trust Bank, we're proud of that. And that's why we focus on helping homeowners prepare for what's next. Our local mortgage bankers have the experience you need and exceptional personal service you'll appreciate. Home Trust Bank is ready to help make a house your home. When it's time to buy, visit your local Home Trust branch or go to htb.com/mortgage.
On the weird scale, there's Vegas, there's Florida, and there's Asheville. Let's get weird, Asheville.
This is the Sportsocracy, and we are coming to you live from the Ingles Studio. It's time to get weird. There's nothing weird about a crocodile in Australia, right? Australia has plenty of crocodiles. Nothing strange about that. It is, however, strange when you got a guy walking down the beach in Australia and he sees a dead crocodile on the sand that has no head. Pictures of this thing are unsettling, to say the least. It looks like something ginormous. Maybe megalodon. Do you know what that is, Jeremy?
Not a clue.
You don't have any idea? The giant shark, the prehistoric shark that's bigger than like 18 city buses or whatever. I mean, it looks like something has taken this thing's head just clean off. And it makes you immediately think, oh my God, what is the natural predator in Australia for a crocodile that could just take its head off like this? Obviously, great white shark comes to mind. But then, no, lo and behold, it's man. It's man. It ends up that after doing the investigation of this 13-foot alligator that has its head completely missing, authorities went and looked into it, and it appears that this was a revenge killing. Apparently, there have been a lot of crocodile attacks along the beaches in this area of Australia where this was found, and apparently some locals took exception to this one crocodile and chopped its head off with a machete. And then left it, I guess, as a warning to the other crocs? I don't know.
Think that's how that works.
like, this could happen to you.
Tell the others.
It's insane. But yeah, I think this is the first ever revenge killing I've seen of a crocodile. And just left like some sort of an ancient custom of warding off other crocodile attacks.
To begin the next hour, we will be drafting the greatest movie sequels of all time. Well, one of the greatest movies of all time never gave us a sequel.
Cocaine Bear.
Oh, no, there will be a sequel to that. Meth Gator, coming to a theater near you. The Ballad of Ricky Bobby. Talladega Nights.
Right.
Well, there was a scene in that movie after an incident where Ricky can't go fast anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And his father, Reese Bobby, teaches him to go fast again by putting a cougar in the car.
Right.
Well, that scene played out in Wisconsin earlier this week when a live cougar crawled into the grill of a sedan and refused to leave. Man walks to his car, hears a weird little guttural noise coming from the front of it, and sees a gigantic paw that is sticking out of the grill of his car. He calls 911 and basically goes full Ricky Bobby. There's a cougar in the car. They show up.
Wow.
Police show up and they immediately look at each other and go, I don't know what to do with that. So they call the local game warden, who shows up and literally said, I have never seen anything like this before. Had to call in reinforcements because the way the bobcat was in the grill of the cart, they couldn't use the stick. So they needed multiple to coerce the bobcat into a spot where they could corral it and get it into the bed of a truck, which is exactly what they did. Watching I wouldn't have been within 500 feet of this because this absolutely looks like something out of the Beverly Hillbillies. This looks like a Three Stooges. This'll work. And I half expected the cougar to just full-on Cocaine Bear jump out of the grill and attack somebody. It did not. It was corralled, returned to the wild. And the owner of the car had a significantly messed up bumper that he had to deal with. That's why you don't buy cheap cars.
Wow. There's a cougar in the car. That's the first time I've ever heard of that.
Literally a bobcat in the car.
And what kind of car was it?
It was a very old sedan of some kind.
I was going to say it had to be a car with a spacious engine compartment or something.
Well, I mean, it's right there where the radiator is. So there's the mesh plastic grill. It looks like the Cougar just forced its way in there. Now, why, I have absolutely no idea. I guess the car was warm. I mean, it is Wisconsin. It is only April, so I guess it is cold at night.
Maybe.
He burst right through there. Literally, there's a Cougar in the car.
You are in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville. Draftmas season's coming to a close.
It's not. We've only just begun to draft. We haven't even started yet.
NFL draft just 6 days away, and yes, you can join us live for our coverage at the Village Porch, 51 North Merriman Avenue. We will be there Thursday night next week. We will be there Friday night for the second and third rounds as well, and we would like to see you out there. Your chance to get on the YouTube stream with us and chat about your team and all of that. Those opportunities are going to be ample during day 2 of the draft. So come on out and join us. And don't forget, if you can't, you can always see us on YouTube. We will be live for every pick of the NFL draft Thursday, Friday, and Saturday of next week. But we're only going to be at the bar Thursday
for the first
Friday,
2 days.
For the first 2 days.
The third day, we have a slightly removed. It'll be a little more casual. Doesn't mean you can not wear pants. Tank, looking right at you on that one.
What? I always wear pants. What are you talking about?
Yeah, but when you get too comfortable, it just makes me really nervous. Like,
we've been doing each and every team giving you their draft needs through the Draftmas season here, and now it's time to talk about the New England Patriots.
You got to finish you still got 3 corners left.
Oh, yeah. That's right. I forgot about that.
Skipped a whole segment there.
I did skip a whole segment. It's Friday, and I'm ready
Tank
to get on with this.
got drunk before he came to work today.
I did not. What are you, a cop? Sorry. Okay, sorry. James Conner list. I forgot we hadn't done the corners yet. All right, so corners, we'll do the New England Patriots draft needs coming up after the next break. Corners for this team, you better stop this hatred right now. Number 1 corner on his list, the guys that Jeremy does not like as much as the rest of the industry, Joey Porter Jr.
It's just very clear to me he's the 3. Now, where he's being projected now is fine. People seem to be forgetting that there were a lot of people that thought he was going to play safety. I mean, that's just like disappeared out of people's heads, and he's in the top 10. No matter, no. I wouldn't have been I wouldn't have crushed anybody for doing it because this draft does really lack at the top end. But I would have been really curious as to why are you taking him over Christian Gonzalez?
Mm-hmm.
Why are you taking him over Devin Witherspoon? Well, Devin Witherspoon's too thin. No, he's not. There's not a ton of 225-pound receivers in this league at this point, so I'm just not that worried about it. I get that you like the body build with Porter because he is a bigger kid. He's a thicker kid. I'm just not sure that he's ever going to be able to be the shutdown corner. And you said yesterday, we were talking about corners, and you said if you take a guy in the top 10, you expect him to be Sauce Gardner or something to that level.
Mm-hmm.
He ain't close to that. He's not in the ballpark of that because he can't do everything. To me, that's more of a guy that falls into the 20s, into the teens or early 20s. Now, there's a great possibility that's where he's going to go. Seems like the betting markets are moving down on him, and then it gets into, okay, he's a good prospect for your Bucks at 19 because I think he fits that system really well.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm not going to ask him to play press man all that often. I'm not going to say he's never going to do it. He's just not really fluid enough to get in and out of breaks,
mm-hmm.
and that makes me nervous. Anytime I say a corner is scheme-specific, I don't feel that way about Christian Gonzalez. I don't feel that way about Devin Witherspoon. So to start putting him ahead of the two of them, all right, I'm not there. I'm not there, and I don't know that I'm ever going to get there. Again, doesn't mean I don't like him.
Right.
Just don't necessarily like him as much as other people do.
You don't like him as much as I do.
And that may be what's skewing me, is because I think you would actually take him in the top 5.
No, I wouldn't take him that high. But I would,
not far.
I would be signing up to take him pretty early in the draft. All right, next one. Keely Ringo out of Georgia.
It's all height, weight, speed. The production's just not there. And he's super scheme specific, because I really don't want him to be anything more than the 2 ever. Because I'm just not sure if he sees a Mike Evans or one of these bigger physical receivers that's fast enough to yes, he'll be able to keep up, but then it gets into skill and technique. It's not going to end well.
He is a guy that would get dusted by the elite of the elites. I'm thinking Mike Evans, Justin Jefferson, Stephon Diggs. He would just be like a little kid out there playing with pros. So I agree with you. I think he's best suited as a 2.
If the NFL was a 7-on-7 where how tall and fast you was the only thing that mattered, he'd be a top 10 pick, but he's not.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not sure that the technique's ever going to be right.
All right, final corner for the James Conner team out of West Virginia. Isn't it? No, Michigan.
There you go.
That was the other blue.
Are you actually actively intoxicated right now?
I'm tired, dude. I'm so ready for this to be. DJ Turner from Michigan.
He ran a 4.26, and all of a sudden the tape just stopped mattering.
Uh-huh.
If I had $1 for every person that's watched one of our mock drafts and said, well, why do we not take DJ Turner? Because he's not very good? I mean, do you want a better answer than that? He ran a 4.26, and now you're just jumping up and down to take him in the second round. I had a 5th-round grade on this kid. It bumped up a little bit when he ran that fast, but, I mean, I kind of knew he was going to run that fast. I missed the projection by 0.06 of a second. I had him as a 4.32 guy. I said before the combine even started, this is one of the ones you have to watch to potentially be in the low 4.3s or in the high 4.2s.
Mm-hmm.
None of it surprised me. The tape's just not there. And he's another one of those. Explain to me what it is about him that makes you think he's going to be a star without saying the word athletic. He's a 5'11", 180-pound press man cover corner because he can't play zone to save his life. And it's a very limited skill set in the league to me.
And how high can he go?
There are people talking about him going in the first round.
Really?
Him and Deonte Banks. Banks is the one that should. Turner is the one that I'm afraid will.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if he gets back he falls into the third round, okay, my versions are gone. Because if you can round off the technique, now I struggle to believe that you're going to coach him up better than he was at Michigan. But, okay, beauty's in the eye of the beholder. I get it. If you have a first-round grade on this kid, I need you to explain it in a very, very explicit detail because it does not make any sense to me.
All right, there's your all-defensive team from the James Conner team at ESPN Draft Nerd. Jeremy Greene doesn't like these guys as well as the rest of the industry. We gave you the offense yesterday. You can also go back and check out the Amon-Ra St. Brown team that we gave you on Monday and Tuesday. When we come back from the break, then it'll be time to talk about our next set of draft team needs with the New England Patriots.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Driving slow 240 eastbound between exit 2 and exit 4A. Future 26 eastbound slowing between Riverside Drive and 240. 26 eastbound stop and go between I-40 and Bavard Road. 26 eastbound slows between the Blue Ridge Parkway and Airport Road. 26 on the westbound side is crawling between Hendersonville Road and Airport Road. 26 westbound slow between Long Shoals Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. 40 westbound Haywood County crawling between NC 209 and US 276. 40 eastbound light delays between Vines Creek Road and US 276. Sweeten Creek Road southbound stop and go between the Blue Ridge Parkway and Mills Gap Road. Hendersonville Road southbound slow between Biltmore Forest and Overlook Road. Near Avery Creek, Boulevard Road northbound approaching Long Shoals Road is slow. Boulevard Road southbound slows between Clayton Road and Long Shoals Road. I'm Lee Minfield with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Blindster.com.
Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster.com. Since 2010, Blindster has sold millions of custom blinds, shades, and shutters to satisfied customers across the country with 20,000 5-star reviews and an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. Custom blinds at low prices and free shipping. Blindster.com.
My milkshake brings all the boys to the yard, and they're like, it's better than yours.
Spilled your milkshake? Quick, the quicker picker-upper. Bounty picks up spills quicker. And each sheet is 2 times more absorbent, so you can use less than the leading ordinary brand. So you can get back to your milkshake.
My milkshake brings all the boys to the yard, and they're like, it's better than yours.
Bounty, the quicker picker-upper.
Hello there. My name is Seychelle, and what makes the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich original to me is the punch of flavors that's unlike any other. You get the crispy tenderness of the chicken and that hint of sourness from the pickles. Ta-da!
Hey, I'm Juan, and what makes the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich original to me is you know you're gonna get chicken that's crispy, golden, and juicy. This is the gold standard of chicken sandwiches.
Order the original Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich on the Chick-fil-A app today. Real customers paid for their testimonials.
O'Reilly! Is your vehicle no longer stopping like it used to? Don't miss spring brake deals at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Our professional parts people will help you find the brake parts and supplies you need. Now through April 25th, get 15% off when you buy a set of Brake Best Select or Import Direct brake pads and 2 rotors. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts today or visit O'ReillyAuto.com. O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Listening to this station on your free iHeartRadio app could put $5,000 in your pocket.
No way, are you kidding me?
Open your app and search this station to be instantly qualified for the cash.
Yay!
Thank you so much.
Download the free iHeartRadio app for all the music, radio, and podcasts you love.
Since man created roads, they've been looking for ways to get off-road and vehicles to take them there. That's where Outlaw Off-Road comes in. A premier off-road center for Jeeps, trucks, and SUVs with a complete lineup of off-road and overland services, including maintenance and repair to make your vehicle all that it can be. Check out their location right here in Western North Carolina at 85 Avery Creek Road. Call them today at 828-974-8480 or visit them on the web at theoutlawoffroad.com.
Rogue Combat Club, Asheville's home for comprehensive martial arts training, has a goal for our community, one that's stronger, more fit, and unwavers in its support of one another. Rogue Combat Club's instructors have competed at the highest levels and offer classes for everyone from young children to adults in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and wrestling. Rogue Combat Club classes can help you boost your self-confidence and self-defense skills while weeding out the egos and intimidation found at other gyms. Join today at RogueCombatClub.com. Welcome back into the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville, and it's time for another round of draft team needs ahead of the 2023 NFL Draft. What do the New England Patriots need?
I feel like it's a wide receiver because signing Juju Smith-Schuster, to me, I feel like that's at best a lateral move with Jacoby Myers. Do you agree?
I would say so.
I like him better. I would rather have Jacoby Myers than Juju Smith-Schuster.
Okay.
So when I look at New England's roster, I feel like Bill O'Brien doesn't have the toys that he needs to play with, especially when I'm looking in this division going, you got Buffalo that could very easily be taking a third receiver very early.
Mm-hmm.
Miami that has built the fastest offense in the history of time, and the Jets that could have Aaron Rodgers. I feel like to keep up in these battles, you're going to have somebody else. I mean, Kendrick Bourne is fine, but I value him more as a rotational piece, not an every down starter.
Mm-hmm.
Devontae Parker was actually – he wasn't great, but he was fine. I just feel like you need the two.
Yeah. Yeah, because Kendrick Bourne should be a 4.
I would agree with that. The only problem is that I can't figure out who that's going to be because you really need a guy that's going to play outside of the slot. I don't think Smith and Jigba's going to do that. So then I start falling into the Quentin Johnston, which I would like. It just really would fly in the face of everything Bill has ever valued.
Right.
Because hands are his biggest question mark. Well, Bill's been burned by a guy, N'Keal Harry, that had that exact same problem. So while I think it might be your biggest need, I don't necessarily think it's going to be the first one you fill. They're a team that I think you need to watch out for a corner as well. And I know you brought back Jalen Mills, but you do understand he was genuinely awful last year, right? Bringing Jones back, I like. I'm not totally averse to Bryant in the slot, but Jalen Mills needs to be playing special teams or safety or anything but out on an island, is it?
Right.
Because he keeps catching Gabriel Davis or Corey Davis or Jalen Waddle, or you need to be nowhere near any of the guys I just said. So I think they could be a team that we really haven't talked about. Because the way we've done all these mock drafts, a corner just falls right in Washington's lap, and it's been this revolving door of what's going to happen with New England. Would it shock you if they took Joey Porter Jr. at 14?
No,
wouldn't shock me in the least. Wouldn't shock me in the least. You take the raw, and then Bill coaches him up. The only thing is that they've never really valued that. That's not a position Bill drafts early historically. From there, I'd like to have another edge guy, and I feel like Josh Uche is nice in a situational role, but he's not really the 3-down guy to me. I've thought they would be a spot for Nolan Smith. I just can't figure out exactly where he's going to play, because that strikes me as a Bill type of pick.
Just I can figure out.
He's just hyper talented. He's a team leader. He's a team captain. I can figure it out. In my defense, I will get the most out of him, and we'll be just hunky-dunky.
Right.
Is it completely out of the realm of possibility that they take one of these tackles?
No.
Nobody seems to do that. Like every mock that I see, they never have a tackle. But say Skoronski falls there.
Oh, absolutely. A guy like that could be versatile in any position on the offensive line would make a whole lot of sense.
Yeah, because right now you got Trent Brown and Riley Reef.
I don't know, maybe the industry is just kind of trying to back off, going, I don't know if we want to leave him up to drafting linemen again in the first round.
Well, there's a big difference between Cole Strange and Peter Skoronski.
No doubt.
For me, that would be their 3 biggest needs. Then I start getting into the ancillaries, which is I would like to have another guy on the interior. I'd like to have another linebacker. I feel like people think because I'm a Jets fan, I just hate this New England roster. It's not that. You have to do the Pittsburgh Steelers thing, because I feel like Mac Jones and Kenny Pickett are very similar quarterbacks. You got to prop them up with what's around them. I look in Pittsburgh and go, okay, you just added Allen Robinson to be the 3rd receiver. Am I out of my mind to think he'd be the best receiver the New England Patriots have? Not really. So they're propping him up. You're not propping your guy up.
Yep.
And that's what I would do if I was going into the draft as the New England Patriots.
You are in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville. We'll take a break for the Sports Center update, and then it'll be daily draft time. You guys have been fighting about it in the YouTube comments. So daily draft today. It's going to be best sequels, best movie sequels of all time.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Temperatures are going to trend cooler into the weekend. Tonight, an increase in cloud cover with a few showers popping up after midnight. The low should drop down to 50. More rain will be possible starting off Saturday. The showers will taper off into the afternoon with a high near 63 as winds gust in from the northwest near 20 to 25 miles per hour. Dry and colder Saturday night with some breaks in the clouds at a low dropping to 38. And for Sunday and Monday, expect sunshine and highs reaching the low 60s. I'm Jeff Marr from the Weather Channel.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Driving slow 240 eastbound between exit 2 and exit 4A. Future 26 eastbound slowing between Riverside Drive and 240. 26 eastbound stop and go between I-40 and Bavard Road. 26 eastbound slows between the Blue Ridge Parkway and Airport Road. 26 on the westbound side is crawling between Hendersonville Road and Airport Road. 26 westbound slow between Long Shoals Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. 40 westbound Haywood County crawling between NC 209 and US 276. 40 eastbound light delays between Vines Creek Road and US 276. Sweeten Creek Road southbound stop and go between the Blue Ridge Parkway and Mills Gap Road. Hendersonville Road southbound slow between Biltmore Forest and Overlook Road. Near Avery Creek, Brevard Road northbound approaching Long Shoals Road is slow. Brevard Road southbound slows between Clayton Road and Long Shoals Road. I'm Lee Minfield with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Blindster.com.
Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster.com. If you're like many people, you may think custom blinds is a job for expensive professionals. Well, at Blindster, if you have a tape measure and a screwdriver, you can install our custom blinds and save big. Plus, we guarantee they'll fit. Blindster.com.
You do anything to keep your vehicle happy. Let's make sure it stays running smoothly. With eBay Guaranteed Fit, the right parts are just a click away. When you see the green check, you know that part will fit. Get the right parts at the right prices. ebaymotors.com. Let's ride. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
Commanders get suspensions today for violating the NFL's gambling policy. ESPN's Chris Canty.
The NFL is cracking down on betting in regards to club personnel and players, and rightfully so, because we know that with the emergence and the legalization of sports gambling across the country, there is a heightened concern when it comes to the integrity of the game.
Chris Canty on Greene. Shaka Tony of the Commanders, Lions wideout Quintez Cephas, and Detroit safety C.J. Moore will all be out at least a year. Lions wideouts Jameson Williams and Stanley Berryhill get 6 games each. Bruins captain Patrice Bergeron expected to miss games 3 and 4 against the Panthers. Game 3 is tonight in Sunrise, tied at 1.
Coming up Monday, it's the week of the draft. I'll tell you which teams that we aren't quite talking about should consider taking a quarterback. Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max, Monday morning at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, ESPNU.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website, money. That's money. Enter it now.
Log on now to ESPNAVL.com.
He's a degenerate gambler.
You are a smelly pirate hooker.
And he's cheaper than oxygen.
He's useless.
But somehow, they make it work. Jeremy Greene, Tank Spencer. There's no holding back in the Sportsocracy. Presented by Ingles Supermarkets.
It is the Sportsocracy. It is ESPN Asheville. And you're listening to us on 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400, or anywhere you go on the iHeartRadio app. Or you can see us live on YouTube. Just go to thesportsocracy.com. Click the live video link. Subscribe to the channel. Join us in the chat. And, of course, when you subscribe, you get all of the team-by-team videos popping up in your feed there. And you'll get alerts whenever we go live, like when we go live for all 259 picks of the 2023 NFL Draft. Next week.
Oh, I can't wait. And then Jeremy is going to he's going to bid you a fond adieu for a significant period of time.
And then unlike previous years and our coverage of the NFL Draft, you can join us as we do it live from the Village Porch, 51 North Merriman Avenue, next Thursday night and Friday night. We will be live and on the scene.
And we'll be live on YouTube.
Indeed. Indeed we will. It is the third hour of the program here on a Friday. Normally the daily draft would be where are we going this weekend, but, I mean, your choices are NBA basketball. There's a boxing match.
Which would have been my number one pick.
Yeah, where apparently some guy with an excellent name is fighting some other guy. Tank Davis. Yeah, thank you for following me down the path there. And
I had no doubt that your grown man that goes by a nickname really enjoyed the fact there was another grown man that goes by a nickname.
Indeed. All the tanks draft stock up for all of the tanks.
Although you're not a tank anymore.
I am.
You're more like a sailboat at this point.
Am I a Tino? Am I a tank in name only?
Whew. 57 minutes.
57 minutes to go. 57 minutes to go. Yeah, and then you got Talladega thrown in there as well, which is going to be fun this weekend.
I was right now years old when I found out they were racing at Talladega this week.
Really?
No clue.
Dude, you got to expand your horizons a little bit.
It's draft time. You know what I'll be doing this weekend? Draft time.
All right, so Daily Draft today, it came up earlier in the program after Jeremy said, yes, that he had not seen The Terminator 2, which is one of the greatest sequels of all time.
Yeah,
and then it started off the firestorm in the chat about what are the best sequels of all time. So, best movie sequels, Daily Draft, here we go. Jeremy, you got the number one pick because I've seen about 7,000 more movies than you have.
Absolutely. You're going to see a very superhero theme to most of what I do.
It's the only movies he watches.
I like Batman, okay? Wear Batman watch every day. It's a very nice Batman watch, and it's one of 3 I have.
All right, so go ahead. First Batman sequel on the list.
It's The Dark Knight, and it's not close.
That's a good call.
That's the greatest movie ever made. Yeah. Now, a lot of people forget it's a sequel because the first one was... it was fine.
It's fine.
Batman
Begins.
Batman Begins was fine.
Right. First of the Christopher Nolan series.
Yeah, it had Katie Holmes as the love interest, and then they switched her out for Maggie Gyllenhaal. I couldn't think of her name.
Yeah.
It's one of the ultimate movies ever made.
Absolutely.
Heath Ledger's Joker is as good as any character you will ever see in any movie ever.
And that was the right call by you because there was no way it was coming back to you.
Absolutely. I've got 2 more that I'm going to be real sad if they don't come back to me. That one, I would have conceded defeat off the top, especially because it's Batman. That had to go to me.
Yep. All right, greatest sequel of all time. Bob Brown got this right in the YouTube comments. It is The Godfather Part 2. It's the greatest sequel of all time. It's better than the original, only fractionally. Only fractionally.
So here's the problem with The Godfather. I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure it's a tremendous movie series, although I've heard the third one's not any good.
No, don't watch that one.
I have a very steadfast rule. And I only break it if I'm given a reason to do so. I don't watch movies that are older than I am. I was born in the late 1980s. That movie came out in 1974, which means it has no CGI. I can't do it. I cannot do it. It's like watching old 90s college football.
But you watched The Godfather, correct?
No, I didn't. I thought I did. I did not.
What is wrong with you? Good night.
I've done that with 2 movies now. One of them I finally did go back and watch. That was Top Gun.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have any idea what I thought. Josh Michael sweated me into watching Top Gun. And then apparently I watched some other movie about airplanes that was awful. I can't. Now, if they remastered it and you made a modern-day Godfather, all the way in.
No. Stop that.
See, I hate when people say that. So, okay, so what's going to ruin it? If you take the same script and do it virtually verbatim, what would be wrong with that?
You won't have any of the original cast in it, and they will screw it up somehow.
So having modern-day actors is going to screw it up.
Yes.
You know, because Marlon Brando was just the bastion of talent.
One of the greatest actors of all time.
Ugh.
Stop it.
I've literally never seen anything he was in. I can't get over his voice.
I've never seen him act before, but
he sounded
that
like
ridiculous voice is just it throws everything out the window.
He sounded like he had mothballs in his mouth. Like, what do you want from me?
That was the point of the movie.
That's fine. Okay.
That's the point of the character.
In terms of mob boss, which he was the boss, right?
Yes.
Okay, so
he was the Godfather.
Okay, he was the Godfather. That's what I thought.
Until Al Pacino became the Godfather.
In terms of mob boss,
Spoiler
nobody will
alert.
ever touch James Gandolfini. So, unfortunately, he has passed on now as well. So that probably kills a modern day Godfather.
Ugh, gross. Godfather 2, better than the original, but again, only fractionally. I love I mean, it was one of the longest movies of all time.
That's another thing. You got me for an hour.
It was
and a half,
Forrest Gump long. I mean, it was 3 hours long.
And I watched Forrest Gump and loved it.
Mm-hmm. And you'll love The Godfather too. The Godfather Part 2. It goes back and tells the origin story of Marlon Brando's character, played by Robert De Niro. That was the thing. Like, okay, you nailed it in the first one with Marlon Brando and Al Pacino, and then you added Robert De Niro to that. 100% greatest sequel of all time. And then number 2 greatest sequel of all time. Well, it was The Dark Knight, but you took that already. So now I got to take the 3rd best sequel of all time, which is Top Gun Maverick.
No!
Yeah.
I didn't think I had to take that one that early.
I
know what you're
did
doing.
I did not think you did.
I know what you're doing. You're pushing all the stupid ones down that you know I'm not going to take because I've never seen them.
No. I fell in love with Top Gun Maverick as soon as I saw it.
So you're telling me you would take that over Space Bears? All the Space Bears sequels?
Absolutely.
I do not believe you, but I will take you at your word. If your word, I think, is hokum.
There are very few sequels that I believe are better than the original stories. And Top Gun Maverick was so much better than Top Gun, the original. And I loved Top Gun.
I watched them back to back. Like, literally watched the first one so I could watch the second one. And I will agree with you.
I have never been a Top Gun guy either. Like, I'm not the guy who could sit there like Josh Michael and just repeat every word of Top Gun to
Josh
you.
Michael could actually do a Top Gun one-man show.
It has always been a cheesy, nostalgic 1980s movie. Like, you want to geek out and go 80s for a night. Okay, throw on Top Gun. It's not a bad choice. Top Gun Maverick is amazing.
I'm very angry that you just did that.
I'm sorry. That is a scenario, unlike The Godfather, where you needed the CGI stuff.
I should have given you the first pick. Then I would have had the 2 good ones, and I would have still gotten what I wanted. I overthought that.
No, you definitely wouldn't have got what you wanted, because I would have taken Dark Knight 1, knowing my competition.
Okay, well, I did that right, because
I
gave myself a shot.
Yeah.
Okay, so I need to know, can I take 2 sequels of the same movie? Because if I can take them together, it would sway me into taking it right now.
Names on the door, I'll allow it.
Okay. It's Toy Story 2 and 3.
Okay, you're not wrong.
I know
you're
I'm not wrong.
Because I fought with myself like, am I going to get grilled for saying Toy Story 3?
There are very few cartoons that I wouldn't just rake you over hot coals.
I was not a fan of Toy Story 2 all that much.
I liked
Toy
them
Story
both.
3.
I liked them all. Now, I was a kid when the first 2 were made, and I'm going to give you I'm just going to be 100% honest, and this is as honest as I can be, because I'm sure somebody somewhere is doing math right now and going, when Toy Story 3 came out, Jeremy was 23 years old. And you're right. And I didn't watch that movie when it first came out. I, as you do sometimes, had a domestic light or two. And it got into one of those weird head spaces where you start craving nostalgia. And I hit the Amazon Prime. I found Toy Story 3, and I cried like a little kid that piddled her pants on the playground.
At the
I
end?
swear to you, I did.
At the end?
And
Absolutely.
and I don't ever cry at anything.
Oh, when he goes away.
I'm the devil.
Oh.
I have no heart. And I still, at the end of Toy Story 3, and I was hammered, too.
Oh, he was big girl crying.
Oh, yeah. And Amy, I'm not going to lie to you, Amy walked in and went, what the hell is happening right now? Who are you, and what are you doing in my house,
I don't know why I immediately went to this, but I've got Flostradamus mullet glory sitting in his whitey tighties just crying over Toy Story 3 and HWA walking in and going, I'm rethinking all of this marriage
100%.
stuff.
And I'll tell you, this was recently enough that I had the mullet. The underoos was not quite happening, but she walked in, and I'm telling you, that's the only time in our entire relationship that I think she's looked at me and gone, I'm marrying that.
Yeah. Although it does show you have a heart, so
Well, I mean, after 17 domestic lights, it really brings the emotions to the surface.
Did you get the sympathy pets though? Like, did you get the hug and the "it's gonna be okay"? Was it at least worth that?
I think the exact phrase I got was "butch up, Buttercup," and away she went.
Epic.
Absolutely.
Epic. HWA Hall of Fame.
I'm not gonna lie, I loved her more after that than I even did before, and I wasn't sure that was possible.
That's great.
That's why I had to take that. But that's why I said I had to take them together. It's
beautiful.
Because it's two completely different stories. It explains why I watched a kid's movie as a man in his 30s.
Mm-hmm.
There's two, and I'm trying. I know if I don't take this right now, you're going to take it. And I'm going to, and you'll do it just to be a jerk. It's Batman Returns. Christopher Walken is the bad guy. Keaton is Batman. It's as good as it gets. And I saw some, I think it was Sloan Jordan, was throwing Batman Returns slander in the chat. There will be none of that. Michael Keaton was the best Batman. Yeah. And I loved Christian Bale. And there should have been more of that, and I don't know why there wasn't. And then we got George Clooney, and it was bad. It was real bad. Then we got Val Kilmer, which somehow was worse. And Christian Bale.
Wait, Val was worse than George?
Oh, God, yeah. Not even close. The movie was not as bad. He was as bad.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, he was awful.
I disagree with that. George was the worst.
I'm pretty sure.
You could have taken this fifth. Because it would not. It's not even in my list of the top 100 sequels of all time.
You're wrong. You're wrong.
It's not one of my favorites.
It's such a great movie.
Greatest part about that movie, last greatest part about that movie, Michelle Pfeiffer. End of story. Repeat the line.
You're not wrong. And Christopher Walken is the bad guy. Oh, you stop.
It was all right.
He was awesome.
It was. I think it was everybody our age. That was our introduction to Christopher Walken. I think that was the first movie I'd ever seen him in.
Probably.
Max Schreck.
So good.
He was good. It was a decent movie. It was the closest to a dark graphic novel version of Batman that we had in any of those
pre-Christopher Nolan.
Right, the pre-Christopher Nolan era.
Yeah, and it got away from the really goofy Adam West. Look, he's got tights on. Bam, boom, bow. Awful.
All right. Yeah, Sloan Jordan says it's an awful movie.
It's not an awful movie. It's a great movie.
Yeah. All right.
Might go home and watch it tonight.
Batman Returns.
Also, might go home, drink 17 domestic lights again, watch Toy Story 3 again.
Okay.
And maybe post a YouTube live of me just double birds. Not ashamed. I am who I am. That's all that I am.
All right, my third pick for greatest movie sequel of all time. It's another one of those. Falls into the category of, yes, it's a sequel, but it was better and much better than the first in the what do they call it? A franchise. I'll give it to you up next, right here on ESPN Asheville.
So long, partner.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Driving stop and go 26 westbound between Banning Bridge Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. 26 on the eastbound side, light delays between Long Shoals Road and Airport Road. 40 westbound stop and go between Georges Branch Road and exit 27. 40 westbound then crawling in Haywood County between NC 209 and US 276. 40 on the eastbound side crawling between exit 27 and Newfound Road. Sweeten Creek Road southbound approaching Mills Gap Road is stop and go. Hendersonville Road southbound slow between the Blue Ridge Parkway and Overlook Road. Near Avery Creek, Brevard Road north and southbound near Long Shoals Road is slow. Hendersonville Road northbound at Brook Street, an accident. Right lane blocked. I'm Lee Minfield with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Blindster.com.
Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster.com. Shopping for new blinds? At Blindster, we offer over 50 different blinds, shades, and shutters at low prices, custom made for your windows, and shipping is free. Shop at home and order 10 free samples of any product before you buy. Blindster.com.
In this week's Marketers Report, Raja Manar, Chief Marketing and Communications Officer of MasterCard, talks about measurement.
Measuring Sonic and Sonic branding, the principles of measurement are the same, but the parameters that you measure are different. We measured, and what we find is our investment is paying for itself in oodles.
As the #1 audio company, iHeartMedia gives marketers access to the audiences, trusted influencers, and data you need to grow. If you're a marketer, go to iHeartResults.com.
Cleaning the inside of your house is easy, but the outside is where most people need a little help. WNC Wash Pros are the highest-rated exterior cleaning company in North Carolina with a 100% satisfaction guarantee. Whether you need your walkways pressure washed or the outside of the house scrubbed clean, we will kill all organic growth to preserve your paint and extend the life of your roof with our gentle and soft approach. Call us at 828-560-WASH or visit our website at WNCWashPros.com for a free estimate today.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
Since man created roads, they've been looking for ways to get off-road and vehicles to take them there. That's where Outlaw Off-Road comes in. A premier off-road center for Jeeps, trucks, and SUVs with a complete lineup of off-road and overland services, including maintenance and repair to make your vehicle all that it can be. Check out their location right here in Western North Carolina at 85 Avery Creek Road. Call them today at 828-974-8480 or visit them on the web at theoutlawoffroad.com.
Real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zach with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
The Sportsocracy.
You were just dumping a bag of hammers.
It is the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville, coming to you live from the Ingles Studio. We're in the midst of the daily draft here on a Friday, talking best movie sequels of all time. Jeremy had the first pick in today's draft. He went smartly Dark Knight because he knew it wasn't coming back to him on the turn. I had The Godfather Part 2, then Top Gun Maverick. And then Jeremy surprises us all, just throws the curveball. Mullet Man's going straight up Toy Story 2 and 3. You didn't see Toy Story 4? Is that?
No. I have emotions. It's a thing.
He does. And then he gave us the picture of him drunkenly crying at the end when Andy says goodbye and leaves Woody and Buzz with the little girl.
Oh, yeah. That's the golden buzzer, the end of, it's awful. Why is my face leaking? I don't like this at all.
And then he went Batman Returns,
which is one of the great movies of all time.
Nah, we'll agree to disagree on that one. So that means it's my turn for the third selection in today's daily draft of greatest movie sequels of all time. And it's what started this conversation. It's Terminator 2, Judgment Day. Arnold Schwarzenegger, that guy that played the other cop, the liquid cop guy.
I don't know that guy's name.
I don't either.
I've seen that much. I know there was a guy that he mutated.
Mm-hmm. It was the first Terminator movie I ever saw. Because the original Terminator came out in 1985, I believe it was. I was 3 years old. And it was a rated R movie, and I wasn't allowed to watch it. When I was coming up, Edward Furlong was a thing in the early 90s, and we saw Terminator 2. And I think it changed my life as far as movies go. It was the first like action movie I was ever allowed to see in the theaters. And it was so much better than the original, because years later I went back to watch Terminator, and I didn't get it at all. Just bad acting, no great effects, nothing.
Robert Patrick's that guy's name, by the way.
No, there you go.
He was in a lot of stuff. He was the bad guy in a slew of movies, actually.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he plays a great villain.
He does.
Plays a great villain. But Terminator 2, T2, Judgment Day is my third selection. And then this is close. I'm gonna save one for the fifth pick. Hopefully it'll come back to me.
Well, you know,
I don't think Jeremy's gonna take it.
You know, I have a very limited range.
I don't think there's a chance of you taking either of these. But in order of importance here, and this may tick some people off.
Does one of them have Space Bears in it?
Maybe.
Because I've never seen any of those, so I can go ahead and tell you.
Maybe.
I'm not going to take that one.
Maybe. Number 4 selection is Infinity War. Marvel Avengers, the Thanos story. It had all of the CGI that you could handle. It obviously was, the Marvel Cinematic Universe is just amazing, and I eat up every movie that they put out. But Infinity War really hit home because, spoiler alert, it's been a few years. I figure you've seen it by now. This is the one where everybody disappears. Half the population goes when Thanos snaps his fingers, and that one scene of Spider-Man and Iron Man on the planet where Spider-Man just goes, I don't feel so good, and then fades away. That got me in my feels.
I hope you didn't think about that for more than 2 seconds, because I was 100% taking Infinity War. And there was no shot of me ever taking anything that had a space bear in
Absolutely.
it. Okay, so you took one of the two. So I'll start with the obvious one in tap dance to try to figure out what my last one is, because I've only got one more on my list. It's Captain America: Civil War.
That was a good one.
That was phenomenal.
Mm-hmm. The introduction of the Black Panther.
It was just so many. You had so many stars in one movie, and it was great. And you know what? I'm going to do it again, because my last pick is The Winter Soldier. Low key, I think I like Captain America as much as I like Batman. I'm just not willing to admit it in my own head.
Okay.
Because it couldn't happen, and that's always why I liked Batman so much. Superman was always. I've never seen a Superman movie in my life except for the one they did that was Batman versus Superman.
Right.
It can't happen, and that's one of those things where movies fall apart for me. I made fun of my dad for that for 20-something years. And then as I got older, I found myself doing it. I go, that's stupid. Can't really happen.
Super soldier from World War II frozen in ice. That's more believable.
And for whatever reason, it just doesn't bother me with
with Marvel stuff.
I loved Marvel movies.
But with DC, if it can't happen, it's a bridge too far.
I didn't say it made sense. I just said it's where I'm at.
I just wanted to make sure we were all on the same page here. Maddeningly inconsistent, as you often accuse me of being.
Oh, I'm 100% that, especially when it comes to movies.
Right.
Because if we're doing an undrafted free agent, you're not gonna like my pick.
Yeah. Sloan Jordan, to answer him, final pick. Yes, I really ignored Empire.
Because I've never seen any.
For Marvel's Empire Strikes Back. That was a strategic pick because I knew he wasn't going to take any space bears or trash cans or anything like that.
Yeah, gold trash can. What am I supposed to do?
Empire Strikes Back, while I was never a Star Wars fan when I should have been. Again, it was these movies came out when I was either before I was born or when I was just a wee toddler. Never saw them. My dad never, we watched a lot of movies in my house, but my dad never got down with the Star Wars stuff. So I was a grown man before I ever saw any Star Wars movie. Like, it was when The Phantom Menace was coming out that I went, okay, maybe I should go and watch the actual Star Wars trilogy before I see the new ones. And Empire was just, that's the one that everybody quotes. That was the Luke, I am your father, even though that's not the line in the movie.
That's not the line in the movie?
No, I think the line in the movie was actually, I am your father, Luke. But everybody says it different because Chris Farley did it in Tommy Boy.
Chris Farley was awesome.
When he was talking into the fan.
Chris Farley was so awesome. You want to know what it got me to watch Space Bears? If you'd put Chris Farley in it. That I might have watched.
They did. They called it Spaceballs and put John Candy in it.
Yeah, and I didn't watch that.
And you should have.
All right, so we have a very good point made in the chat by Stephen Towle.
Okay.
He said that you're working off a top 300 and I'm working off a top 30. So basically, this is the exact reverse of what the NFL draft is going to be.
Right.
You made a good point. Toy Story 2 and 3 can be one pick.
Civil War and Winter Soldier
should be one pick.
Okay.
And they're saying I should get one more selection.
Okay, I'll allow it.
All right, so now I fought for that, and I don't actually know.
He doesn't have a choice.
I really don't. Unless I take a third Batman movie, which
Breaking 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Sharknado 2. I've seen every Sharknado and no Star Wars. I want you to think about what I just said.
Mm-hmm.
I have a couple that I could take, but there's only one that I really, really like.
Andreas Pinckney is pulling for you hard. He thinks you're getting dusted, which I agree.
Of course I am. I never had a shot in this.
No, you didn't.
I watch superhero movies and draft tape.
He wants you to give us a banger here. You need to close strong. This has been a pretty weak draft for you so far.
It has not. That is, I feel like I have represented myself quite nicely for somebody that has no more of a depth of knowledge here than I do.
Rocky? Any of the Rocky
Never
movies?
Never seen them. I've seen Creed.
That qualifies as a sequel, but
it does.
I guess it really counts if you haven't seen.
It doesn't belong up here.
It's close. It's real close.
Oh, yeah. I don't disagree with that.
If we were doing a top 10, it would definitely be picked, as would Wakanda Forever.
I've never seen that one either.
It's really good. That's another one. Into that movie.
Does it hit you in your feelers?
If you were a Black Panther Chadwick Boseman fan, 100% it hits you in the feels. No spoiler alerts on that one, though. It's too new.
So, now that I've said the Creed thing, I'm almost curious, does Creed count as a sequel?
Absolutely.
Okay. I've seen that. I'm taking Creed.
Creed. Good choice.
I'm taking Creed.
Good choice.
It's also the name of the greatest band in the history of the world. So it's really
I knew there was a different one.
That's a double play for me.
Right. You could take all of the Creed movies. I haven't seen Creed 3 yet, but I hear it's fantastic.
The two Creeds were phenomenal.
Yeah, Creed and Creed 2, the retelling of Apollo's son going up against Drago's son in Creed 2. That was a great movie as well.
The other two I was considering there were Thor Ragnarok and Spider-Man 2.
Okay.
The Tobey Maguire Spider-Man 2.
We're glad you steered away from superhero movies for a second.
At some point you have to. I'm really a 12-year-old with a driver's license and the ability to drink. That's what I am.
There are so many movies that fall into this category. You could go to every franchise and find one sequel that was good. Indiana Jones, Temple of Doom.
Never seen any
Great
of them.
movie.
Only Indiana Jones I've ever seen was Crystal Skull, and it guaranteed I will never see any of the rest.
Last Crusade was good as well. All the Lord of the Rings movies, the Hobbit movies. You got so many sequels that were really good. I think we've put together a fine list here.
Look, I think I represented myself quite nicely for a man that's probably seen 30 movies in his entire life.
Okay. And most of them are when I was still piddling in my pants. So I feel fine walking
Listen,
away
we
here.
don't need any more details about your Toy Story 3 experience, okay?
It's one of those nights. Amy and I have been together 5 years, and I think of all the times, that's when she looked at me and went, I'm really doing this.
Mm-hmm. Sloan Jordan threw in another one. X-Men 2.
I considered that
was a
one
great
because I've seen that one, but I haven't seen any of the rest of them.
Mm-hmm. Days of Future Past would have been a good one as well. So many that you could talk about in so little time. We got to press on with the program here, though. Coming up after the break, it'll be time for the most important message of the day, plus another episode of Draft Team Needs for 2023.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Temperatures are going to trend cooler into the weekend. Tonight, an increase in cloud cover with a few showers popping up after midnight. The low should drop down to 50. More rain will be possible starting off Saturday. The showers will taper off into the afternoon with a high near 63 as winds gust in from the northwest near 20 to 25 miles per hour. Dry and colder Saturday night with some breaks in the clouds and a low dropping to 38. And for Sunday and Monday, expect sunshine and highs reaching the low 60s. I'm Jeff Marr from the Weather Channel.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Heavy traffic volume delays, 240 east and westbound on the Captain Jeff Bowen Bridge. 26 westbound is slowing between Airport Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. 40 westbound is stop and go between exit 44 Smoky Park Highway and Georges Branch Road. 40 westbound then crawling between Georges Branch Road and Newfound Road. 40 westbound finally crawling between NC 209 and US 276. 40 on the eastbound side in Haywood County, crawling between exit 27 and Newfound Road. Near Avery Creek, Brevard Road north and southbound, near Long Shoals Road is slow. Smoky Park Highway northbound approaching Sand Hill Road is slow. Sweeten Creek Road northbound slow approaching Mills Gap Road. I'm Lynn Benfield with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Blindster.com.
Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster.com. Want to save big on custom faux wood blinds, shutters, cellular shades, and more? Shop Blindster today and save up to 50% over comparable blinds from brick and mortar stores. Get custom blinds at low prices and free shipping at Blindster.com.
Did you know your completely free iHeartRadio app is also your home for hit podcasts? New for you this week, check out On Purpose with Jay Shetty, discussing philosophy, life, and conversations with the biggest stars in the world. Listen today on your free iHeartRadio app.
iHeartRadio! Have your outdoors and running water, too. With Luxury Lou, the tasteful solution to portable bathroom rentals. Family-owned and local, Luxury Lou Rental provides modern bathrooms on the go with running water, AC and heating, flushable toilets, and elegant designs. Luxury Lou's are perfect for weddings, corporate events, remodels, and more. Don't leave your well-dressed guests to use a dirty porta-potty John. Ew! Turn to Asheville natives. Luxury Lou. Visit LuxuryLousRental.com.
In this week's Marketers Report, Patrizio Spagnoletto, Global Chief Marketing Officer Direct-to-Consumer for Warner Brothers Discovery, weighs in on building trust.
Trust is a really hard thing to build and a really easy thing to destroy, and we have to be very respectful about that. Our partnership with iHeart has really helped us build that trust and that relationship with the on-air talent.
As the #1 audio company, iHeartMedia gives marketers access to the audiences, trusted influencers, and data you need to grow. If you're a marketer, go to iHeartResults.com.
Rogue Combat Club, Asheville's home for comprehensive martial arts training, has a goal for our community, one that's stronger, more fit, and unwavers in its support of one another. Rogue Combat Club's instructors have competed at the highest levels and offer classes for everyone from young children to adults in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and wrestling. Rogue Combat Club classes can help you boost your self-confidence and self-defense skills while weeding out the egos and intimidation found at other gyms. Join today at RogueCombatClub.com.
Tired of getting dinged by monthly fees on your checking account? You need Simple Checking from Home Trust Bank. With Simple Checking, you get all the essential checking services for free, including 100% online access and a free Visa debit card. It's everything you need from a checking account, but no hoops, no surprises, no monthly fees. Stop by today or call 800-627-1632. Simple Checking at Home Trust. Ready for what's next. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
And welcome into the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville, and it is time for the most important message of the day, Jeremy Greene.
Don't do crimes!
Don't do crimes. It is indeed right, and you got a doozy for us today.
My story is almost too stupid to be believed, but it's true. You ever been to the website rentahitman.com?
What are you, a cop?
It is an actual website that is up on the interwebs and has been since 2005, when it was created as a class project by a man named Bob Ennis. He was taking a class in cybersecurity. He created a website, gave it all the bells and whistles, had different testimonials for people that had done, quote, problem resolution things. Also had some discounts mentioned, group of 3 or more, senior 65 plus, spring cleaning. Not 100% sure what that means. This was a school project. Well, unbeknownst to a now slew of dum-dums, it wasn't actually a website to hire a hitman, and it has now ensnared another moron. A 21-year-old Tennessee man who was a member of the Tennessee National Guard sent a query to the website in February about possible employment. In that email, he said, I'm looking for a job that pays well, related to my military experience, shooting and killing the marked target, so I can support my kid on the way. What can I say? I enjoy doing what I do, so if I can find a job that is similar to it, such as this one, put me in, coach. I kid you not. The end of his email said, put me in, coach.
Put me in.
Well, unbeknownst to this 21-year-old man, Mr. Ennis has been funneling all of the requests that come into this website to the FBI. And it would have been easy to figure that out because a woman named Wendy Wine was sentenced to 7 to 20 years in prison just a year ago because she did the exact same thing, submitting a service request form asking for someone kill her ex-husband, and she agreed to pay a sum of $5,000. The judge in that case said nobody looking at this could have believed this website was real, but you did. Apparently so did this man. So he set up a meeting, and he was arrested in a Hendersonville, Tennessee park on April the 12th after accepting a packet that included information about a fictional target that he was to kill. How are people this stupid? Like, I don't really have a nicer way to say, you have a kid on the way, and your idea to make money for that child is to go start whacking people. And you went, here's my other question. How in the world do you find a website called rentahitman.com? Did you search on Google, where could I go kill people?
They'll never find me.
They'll
here.
never figure it out this way. It's all cloak and dagger. And we'll meet in a park.
Did they even use like an incognito window or whatever they call that? The dark window that's not supposed to be traceable?
Oh, yeah. Oh, good.
That doesn't work.
No, it does not. The man has been charged with use of interstate facilities in the commission for a murder for hire, which carries a maximum sentence of 10 years in prison.
In Colorado, a school bus driver is facing charges after an incident that happened on March the 1st. Back on March the 1st, guy's driving down the road. He's driving a load of kids from Castle Rock Elementary School. And the kids, shockingly enough, you got kids that ride the transportation to and from schools, you may be aware of, well, hell, we were kids. We rode the bus. You know what happens on school buses.
Never rode a school bus in my life.
Really?
Not once. Not one time ever.
You're a lucky man. You're a lucky man because weird stuff happens on buses.
Yeah, I'm good.
And anyway, so the kids are getting a little unruly on the bus. 61-year-old man driving. He can't, it's hard to control a whole bunch of kids, dozens of kids on a bus when you got to keep your eyes on the road. So he did the thing that my bus driver used to do to us. When we were getting a little too unruly, we were getting too loud, we were getting up out of our seats and going back and forth and jumping around and horsing around, he brake checked them.
Oh, that seems like a terrible idea.
He full-on brake checked them. And it was so bad that apparently one of the children got a laceration on her cheek, and he dropped her off at the school bus. Mom meets her at the school bus stop, and he let her out. She's shaking and crying and just a ball of feelings. He has to stop and explain to the parent what just happened. Well, they were being unruly, so I had to teach them a lesson. What do you think happened to him?
I have no clue. I'd say he was probably fired.
That's not part of the story, but I would imagine he's not allowed to drive, at least not for that district anymore. He is now facing 30 child abuse charges for brake checking the students on the bus. Look, don't do crimes, but also part of me looks at this and goes, oh, see, this is just a soft generation. Because we went through that, and we didn't even feel like, we never thought that we could report somebody for that. I was once the bleeding kid coming off the bus because I got brake checked and went faceplant right into the window. Just nose busted open, blood all over. Mom asked what happened. Fell.
Can't. Hurts.
Right. Fell. And would never have thought, hey, I could tell and get the bus driver in trouble.
Oh, but now, of course you can, because this is the tell on somebody generation.
Exactly.
Now, you shouldn't do that.
No, don't brake check a whole bus full of students. No, it's not a good idea. But I saw this story and immediately had just like flashbacks. I think that was 6th grade. Not the best times. Don't do crimes. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM and 1400. Continuing our Draftmas coverage, we're giving you team needs for every team in the NFL. Coming up next, we'll talk about the Atlanta Falcons.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Traffic is slow 26 westbound between Airport Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. 40 westbound is stop and go between the Smoky Park Highway and George's Branch Road. 40 westbound, then crawling between George's Branch Road and Newfound Road. 40 westbound also crawling between NC 209 and US 276. 40 eastbound crawling between exit 27 and Newfound Road. An accident has the left lane closed here. Near Avery Creek, Brevard Road northbound, approaching Long Shoals Road is slow. I'm Lyndon Fuel with your Time Saver Traffic.
Sponsored by Blindster.com.
Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster.com, and I sell custom blinds designed for do-it-yourselfers. Unlike stock blinds offered at big box retailers, Blindster blinds are custom made for your windows and shipping is free. Don't hire an expensive pro. Do it yourself and save big at Blindster.com.
Cleaning the inside of your house is easy, but the outside is where most people need a little help. WNC Wash Pros are the highest rated exterior cleaning company in North Carolina with a 100% satisfaction guarantee. Whether you need your walkways pressure washed or the outside of the house scrubbed clean, we will kill all organic growth to preserve your paint and extend the life of your roof with our gentle and soft approach. Call us at 828-560-WASH or visit our website at WNCWashPros.com for a free estimate today.
What's up? I'm Tyrese Maxey, 21st overall pick in the 2020 NBA Draft, a guard for the Philadelphia 76ers, and I'm doing my very first podcast, Maxey on the Mic.
Tyrese!
We'll talk about games, catch up with some of my favorite NBA players, talk travel, food, music, who knows what else. Listen to Maxey on the Mic on the iHeart Radio app or wherever you go to get your podcast.
I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought I'd have the time. Then I discovered Babbel.
Babbel's lessons are fun. They only take like 10 or 15 minutes, and in 3 weeks, presto, you're starting to speak another language, like magic.
I love that Babbel's lessons aren't just robots talking. They're voiced by native speakers, so you get the pronunciation just right.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than
Babbel.
Babbel.
Babbel. Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's BABBEL.com. Babbel.com.
Fuel your future at Firehouse Subs. We're locally owned and offer the best in hearty food and heartfelt service. Hiring for the Patton Avenue, Weaverville, Airport Road, Tunnel Road, and Cherokee locations. Apply in person. Firehouse Subs. Equal opportunity employer.
Spring in the South means the return of Atlanta Braves baseball.
There's a liner out towards center field. It will lay down. Here comes Ronald. Braves win it.
The 2023 Braves load up for another huge season.
The Braves play here on ESPN Asheville.
The siren song of the sea beckons with a bounteous treasure and a desire that must be fulfilled.
At Ingles, our extensive seafood department offers a huge variety from your local catch to flavors from around the world. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt Zach with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
The Sportsocracy.
Why are you smiling?
Because I love football.
Welcome back into the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville, coming to you from the Ingles Studio. Time for more NFL draft needs. 6 days away from the 2023 NFL Draft.
6 days, 2 hours, and 11 minutes. Let's go!
We will be live for every pick of the NFL Draft on YouTube. You can join us for the first night, for the first round, and for night 2, second and third rounds. Live at the Village Porch, 51 North Merriman Avenue. We will be streaming it. We will be covering it. You can help us out with the coverage as well. Come by and say, hey, we'll bring you on, give you a guest spot, let you talk about your team for a little bit.
Wave hi to the camera and show people what your face looks like.
We don't have to worry about wordy dirds and all of that because we will be on the YouTube stream. And so join us for our coverage if you can't make it out to the Village Porch, but we encourage everybody to join us in person as well. Now, draft team needs. We've been going over each and every team. Now it's time to talk about the Atlanta Falcons, who have had a hell of an offseason. You got one giant hole on this team, in my opinion.
Which is?
Quarterback. But you are not going to get one. You probably shouldn't take one at 8. And I don't know that you draft one at all.
So here's my question with that. All right, we've talked about Anthony Richardson. We've talked about C.J. Stroud.
Yes.
If one of them falls to 8, you wouldn't do that.
Richardson, I would.
Wow, you've pushed Richardson past C.J. Stroud now.
No, I just think Anthony Richardson would fit Arthur Smith better than C.J. Stroud would.
I don't disagree with that.
I don't know that while C.J. Stroud showed in the national championship game that he's a willing runner, I don't know that it's a great idea. Anthony Richardson, that's what he does.
Well, for me, I agree that they have a huge need, and it's at receiver. Do you know who the starting receivers on this team? Not named Drake London. Do you know who the other two are?
Oh.
I'll give you a hint. They signed them both this offseason.
Not off the top of my head.
Mac Hollins and Scotty Miller.
Ah, yes.
That's what you're doing with your less than good quarterback. That's where you're at.
Mm-hmm.
The thing I can't figure out with Atlanta is, okay, so are you just going to completely steer into being this run first, we virtually never throw? I mean, I don't think there was a team in the NFL that threw less than them last year. If there was, I don't
remember who it was. And okay, I'm fine with that. Why'd you use 2 top 10 picks on receivers? You took Drake London at 8, you took Kyle Pitts at 4.
Mm-hmm.
And so now you're just, we throw every once in a while. It's like putting 2 Maseratis in front of a double wide. It doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to me. Now, defensively, you've done great things. They cut Casey Hayward today, so now Mike Hughes is the slot guy as opposed to Casey Hayward with Okudah and Terrell on the outside. I would still say don't be shocked if they take a corner, not at 8, but reasonably early. They don't have to do anything. That's what makes them such a wild card. Now, I will tell you there has been we'll say it's a rumor, but this is – when I start seeing the same thing from multiple different sources that really have no contact with one another, it makes me wonder, why are you all getting this at the exact same time? Bijan Robinson has screamed up the board. If you look at his chance to be taken in the top 10, if you look at his draft spot at number 8, he's now the favorite to go at 8.
Mm-hmm.
Why is that happening now? We haven't really talked about that much. We brought it up at one point and said that's probably the highest he could go.
Mm-hmm.
And now all of a sudden he's the favorite at 8. All right, so let me ask you this, as I know my answer to it. If you get on the board at 8 and Anthony Richardson's still there, Bijan Robinson's still there, who do you take?
I think it's Bijan.
For me, it's Bijan, and I wouldn't have thought nearly as hard about it as you just did.
Because while I need a quarterback, I do have a guy in the room that I can trust to get me through the season.
Well, I mean, and that's the thing. You have made it known that you don't really feel the urge to sink a lot of capital into quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Arthur Smith's done that his entire career in the NFL. Ryan Tannehill was a trade. He was a cast-off from Miami that they got for a bag of footballs.
Mm-hmm.
Desmond Ridder was a third-round pick. I really struggle to believe that they take a quarterback. That's where everybody's wanted to put one. But you got to take your take on the team out and look at what the people that are making these decisions think. I could easily see Bijan being the pick for them at 8. And now they just steer into, we're going to run the ball down your throat.
Mm-hmm.
We got 2 big receivers on the outside because you played Pitts on between – actually got 3. Between Mac Hollins, Kyle Pitts, and Drake London. And we're just going to run a lot. Throw it 24, 25, 26 times a game. We're going to play good defense. And I'm not sure that that's not a winning solution. I like this Falcons roster. I don't like your quarterback at all.
Mm-hmm.
And this may be the only time in NFL history that I've ever said that.
Well, I mean, while you do have high draft capital locked up into the wide receiver core, it's the fact that you don't have that quarterback. Then I go, why not just go full in on the run game? You'll have one of the scariest tandems in the league. The next thunder and lightning, slash and dash, whatever you want to call them.
And you got Cordero Patterson, too.
You give me Bijan Robinson and Tyler Algier and throw in the little, spicy weapon in Cordero Patterson. You've got a team that could be very multiple, throw you different looks.
See, to me, and that team just becomes very irritating. This is like a version of the Baltimore Ravens with much better weapons than they ever had.
Mm-hmm.
Now, they had a much better quarterback than you have. And I'm intrigued by it. I love what they've done on the defense. Like I said at the start of this, I don't feel like you have to shoehorn anything. I would like to get a corner at some point. If an edge fell to them, Nolan Smith and Lucas Van Ness are second and third, most likely to go at 8. I'd like to get a running back at some point, another wide receiver. Interior defensive linemen are positions that I'm looking at.
Linebacker?
I would like to have a linebacker at some point over the course of the 3 days.
Yeah.
Don't necessarily know that I want to throw another young guy at that. I would understand if you did. I'm just not sure that would be my path. Because now the 2 of your 5 really young guys that play on this defense play the same position.
Mm-hmm.
And that it's the Jamin Davis rule. Makes me nervous when you got 2 young guys beside each other that are figuring the league out. Atlanta's on a good trajectory. I think Jonathan Welch was the first one to say that, and he was right. He was just a year early.
He was a year early. Calais Campbell was a big pickup for them in the offseason. Like I said, they've filled a lot of holes. And all you got to do is just knock this draft out of the park, wait on the quarterback that you like, a couple of years we could be talking about Atlanta being right back at the top of the NFC as a whole. You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville. When we talk again, it'll be draft week. We'll be back with you on Tuesday here on ESPN Asheville. We're going to take Monday to kind of get everything set up for the week's activities.
Next
Make
week
sure we get all the YouTube videos out and such.
There was a phrase we had in college called Hell Week. We're walking into it, boys and girls.
Yep.
It's Draftmas time. Let's go.
Enjoy your long weekend without us. We will be back with you on Tuesday at 3 here on ESPN Asheville.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Temperatures are going to trend cooler into the weekend. Tonight, an increase in cloud cover with a few showers popping up after midnight. The low should drop down to 50. More rain will be possible starting off Saturday. The showers will taper off into the afternoon with a high near 63 as winds gust in from the northwest near 20 to 25 miles per hour. Dry and colder Saturday night with some breaks in the clouds and a low dropping to 38. And for Sunday and Monday, expect sunshine and highs reaching the low 60s. I'm Jeff Marr from the Weather Channel.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Driving slow, 26 westbound between Airport Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. 40 westbound stop and go between the Smoky Park Highway and George's Branch Road. 40 westbound then crawling between George's Branch Road and Newfound Road. 40 westbound also stop and go between NC 209 and US 276. 40 eastbound Haywood County crawling between exit 27 and Newfound Road. Near Avery Creek, Boulevard Road northbound approaching Long Shoals Road is slow.
This report is sponsored by Blindster.com.
Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster.com. If you're like many people, you may think custom blinds is a job for expensive professionals. Well, at Blindster, if you have a tape measure and a screwdriver, you can install our custom blinds and save big. Plus, we guarantee they'll fit. Blindster.com.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W2.